Greetings, you people. Hello, my king. How's it going on? How has it been? This is Briarstone. I'm doing indeed. Welcome you to Sunday morning heroes, everybody. We are back, and it's time for us to get started once again. I am here with Quill18.
Hey, folks.
Demonac.
Greetings.
And the lovely A Kiss for Luck.
Hey, you.
As well as a Bella, apparently, because I heard it. Hey, Bells. So, guys, I'm excited about today for a few reasons. One of the main reasons is that things could go and get pretty hectic. I don't know which way you guys are going to go, but I have a feeling that things are going to be fun, regardless of which way you guys go. And yeah, let's get some FaceTime continuing. Let's get started, as it were. And 3, and 2, and 1, and faces. Everybody's here. Should be here. Well, that's a face. That's a cool face, everybody. All right. So guys, I suppose everybody, also every viewer needs to get a bit of an update, as it were, as to what ended up happening. It's been a couple weeks since the last time we played, and specifically, should I start from the beginning for anybody who's new? I will say this. I'll try to do it this way. I will say that there has been some incredible sort of elemental things happening in and about the world, and these particular player characters have noticed something has been amiss, something has been wrong, and there's been several happenings. There's been undead that they fought and won against. There has been some intrigue in their own hometown, which has been brought to, well, as much justice as you might be able to say could happen, at least in the short term. And currently, they are out and about trying to find some dangerous orcs to put down, as it were, because, well, they're dangerous, right?
Everybody be very, very quiet. We're hunting orcs.
Oh no!
Basically.
Images. Quill with the little gun.
I'm gonna give people some vision here on the table. If you remember correctly, yeah, that one building is still on fire. You guys are seeing this, right? You seeing the fire?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I would have assumed that the building would have be down to smoldering ash at this point.
This is true.
Yeah, we did go and find the orcs that were with the cart after this.
Right. Let's go ahead and get over to this here. I'm gonna go background, and I'm gonna bring the flame down to a minimum smolderiness as you mentioned.
Because we had come back here after rescuing.
Yeah.
I guess it was the wife from
The wife.
this homestead.
Right.
I hear a bell. Oops, I didn't mean to move around.
We still have an orc that was all tied up. I think we were resting here because we'd been pretty beaten up by the last fight,
Right.
and the orc needed a couple hours to regain consciousness.
Okay. Okay, that's very good. I'm just zooming out so I can see what's happening here. There we go. And did I move the whole world again? I did. All I'm trying to do is move the map. There we go. We've already got a donation for the day. Hendrick NL with a $5 donation. Thank you very much for that generosity, sir. And did I just lose 2 people? Oh, there's one.
You just lost me for the
refresh
first time
or
this
something.
morning.
No, I see you now. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I just come back. It just died. The whole thing died. I had to open it all up again.
Okay. And
But at least it came back without a reboot this time. Bad technical problems this morning,
Yeah,
folks.
apparently.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I can see Demonac fine. I'm just looking at the. Oh no, there he goes.
Is he gone? Is he gone on YouTube? Okay. Well, I mean, I can hear him.
Oh.
I think I'm still here. Every once in a
Camera.
while, everyone goes robotic to me.
Your camera went.
Yeah. Your camera go bye-bye.
Your cameras are gone except for Brian. I don't know.
Weird, eh? There's new internet.
Very weird.
Apparently it's got, needs some patching.
The internet washed its hair and it can't do a thing with it
Right.
this morning.
Desart, hello and welcome, I see you.
Hello, folks. Hendrick, hello.
We're gonna have a couple of seconds here while we get Demonet back in. Things I can talk about while he is not here currently is stuff that he already knows about, which is you guys do have indeed a live, a bit unconscious at the moment, but a live orc that you caught.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And,
We have to question this person thing.
I mean, it's still going to be out for quite some time. I believe it was it 1d4 hours, and I think it was like 3 or 4 hours. I think I rolled max,
4
which
hours.
is like 4 hours, yeah. So whether unless you guys want to give them some sort of health potion or healing, or it's gonna take a while.
Do you have any smelling salts in your healing kit?
I can heal. You have smelling salts, Demonac?
That just noting that back. I don't know what's going on.
Yubik with $1.30. Thank you very much.
I have healing things. I mean, we can make him well.
Well, if you want to waste your healing stuff on an orc, I mean,
I
I'm not
don't
gonna
like
stop
the
you.
idea. I mean, should we just let him die? Anyway.
No. We have to question him first.
Fine. Or we could just kill him mid-track.
Oh, okay. I take out my dagger and I stab the orc.
What? What's going on? Sorry, repeat.
I don't know.
She said she can just track instead, so I kill the orc.
Oh, well, that's
real?
actually
Yeah, absolutely. Tao just says, "Oh, okay," and it's like this is nothing. This is less than putting down an
It's an
animal to
orc.
be butchered or anything like that.
Yeah.
She sees orcs as being nothing at all.
Yes.
At worst, or at best, sort of like natural force in the world, like force of nature. It's like ignores it like you would ignore a breeze.
right.
Yeah.
And it
Fine
makes
with me.
sense. It's totally in character. I know because both to my knowledge, both Tao and Lisan, they
Have issues.
Yeah, you literally just hate orcs.
No. You can't hate something that isn't. Again, it would be like hating the wind. Doesn't make any sense.
Right.
You just
Oh, you're beyond it. You're
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they're
yeah.
not even a thing.
That's the way
Oh.
Tao deals with it. Is she's become so detached from it. Otherwise, things would be worse.
Right. Also, I
Yeah.
want to point out. I hear a bumping. Is it from? I believe.
Yeah, it's Ava every time Bella bumps to the table or something.
It's that far away. Oh, maybe. Oh, you know what? It might be from down there. Okay,
Still
don't bump.
definitely happening.
Don't bump. It's usually against the lamp, but I made sure this morning there was a big gap. So something else. I don't know what it is. Don't touch me.
Okay. Anonymous, same with $3. Thank you very much. So what do you guys want to do from here? I mean, apparently the orc is now dead. You spent some amount of effort to keep him alive, and now he's now.
When Tao goes to stab him, Eric just kind of like reaches out helplessly for, like I said, like he just wasn't expecting that, but
right.
Women.
It's like you never know, right? It's gonna, Tao when Tao's around, what's gonna happen? So nobody makes any effort to stop her, so that the orc is now dead.
Okay.
So
like we
now,
could.
You do have
not quick enough. Wasn't expecting it.
Right. You do have what's her name? I didn't actually work out. That was loud. Chemical Crash, $50. Hello and welcome. Thank you for that.
Wow.
I haven't.
Wow.
Or heard any.
Sorry, headphone users.
Yeah, that always hurts. So 4.
There it is. Now I hear. Okay.
Your, conversation, you still have the lady that you saved. Now.
Yes.
She's
and we healed her husband.
Yep, and he could be alive right now. He could be awake right now. And being as coherent as he is, you guys can question him if you want, or if you think that's not nice, then you can just, bring him along with you, try to get him back to safety instead of, grilling him, interrogating him, or whatever. But whatever you guys want to do right now.
Okay, so they're back home. We saved the farm. We didn't save the barn. It looks like that was the barn that went down. But we saved their home and the other buildings.
Yeah.
We healed him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're definitely going to ask him what he knows about what's been going on out here in the countryside. Absolutely.
Okay.
Everything.
Thank you for that. Although
while you guys are quizzing him, and I don't want to interrupt with that, I'm going to be grabbing the orc's probably got an axe or something that he uses, right?
Okay.
Some sort of weapon.
He had something, yeah.
Yeah, he had an axe. He had just a standard axe.
I'm gonna grab it and I'm just gonna go just sit off by a wall and I'm just gonna sort of hold it and I'm just focusing and concentrating on the axe while you guys are questioning the man and the woman.
Okay.
I'm curious about that. All right. So while Tao is doing something weird in the corner, there's a conversation going on. So how do you want to proceed? I will answer any question that I
can. Okay. Is this the first you've heard of orcs? When you were attacked today, was this a surprise? Did you know there were orcs in the area? What can you tell us? What happened?
And this is directed towards the woman or the man?
Well, I don't know. Either one.
Both there, right?
Okay. Yeah, both there.
They can share the questions.
I will say that
if they're married, they both have joint ownership.
The question is an AOE.
There we go.
Very good. Very good.
Totally tossed out the AOE question. Yeah.
So I would say that the guy starts to answer first. About the orcs have always been a plague to the lower to the south. Everybody knew about that. And now I got echo. What is that?
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know.
Lots of technical difficulties this morning. So
there's no way to tell where the sound is coming from.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's gone now.
It's gone. Okay. That was weird. All right. So yeah, no, the orcs have always been a problem to the southernmost area, and it's only recently that they've had issues up this far. They've never had issues with orcs up this far, and in fact, he says that when he heard about some problems, some raiding happening further south, he sort of just overall ignored it because he was thinking, well, south, obviously, well, that happens, right? Whatever. But he didn't realize that it was actually coming this far north, and then when it did hit, he was actually surprised. And it's at this particular moment where his wife turns to him, and with this ridicule, bit of a look in her eye, and telling him about, specifically, I told you they were coming. I knew they were coming. You denied it, and here we are in this mess, and you could have died. And she's actually angry. So yeah, and then there's some sort of weird silence between the two.
I don't want to say I told you so, but
I just told you so.
Did orcs say anything when they were, burning buildings and stupid things like that? Were they saying any words in common?
No, actually, this guy unfortunately does not speak orc either. But no, he looks thoughtful. He looks, that was loud. Lord of Time with $51. Thank you very much. But he looks thoughtful for a second, like he's almost like he's trying. He's trying to remember, is there anything in specific that there could have been? And he doesn't have anything. There was a lot of, sort of chuckling, though. There's a chuckling going on, almost like they were telling each other jokes or something, is best he can say.
Okay. But this is the first time you've seen an orc. They just stormed your farm today, this morning, whatever. Morning, afternoon, whatever it is. And...
yeah, this is the first time. He says this is the first time he's ever seen an orc. And as far as he's concerned, he would like to never see an orc that close again.
And neighboring farms, friends, relatives you have in the area, when you're at marketplace, what have you been hearing? What's happened to other people? Do you know any other farm that's gone down like this in this area?
Well, a lot of the people have in and around the other farms nearest to him. They have sort of left their farms. And then when he says that, he sort of bows his head again and looks a little bit ashamed as, again, he gets another glare. They have left their farms and they went to join the Delman Ranch, because the Delman Ranch is the only place other than Belliard in the area that has walls, something to protect them. And the Delman is very, very Mr. Delman himself is very, very he's nobility, first of all. And he's very charismatic, and apparently he's been able to get people to come to his ranch and to help defend. There's like trying to do a sort of a like a
militia.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I just, sorry guys, it's been a couple weeks, and so we were in Belliard, and then we saw the fire, and it was just a farm outside of town. So we went out, tracked 2 orcs there, saw the others leaving. We took care of, and we're on the farm. So we're just a little bit, east of Belliard at this point?
Yes, currently you're east of Belliard. Sort of more east than north, but kind of like a little bit both. Yeah.
That's okay. Alrighty. Okay, that's good. I just want to make sure I knew where we were.
Okay.
Good. Alrighty.
All right. Okay. So, yeah. From the body language, you can pretty much gather that it's been a bit of a conversation between the two.
Yeah.
About how they probably should have just left and joined everybody else, but
the wife wanted to go to safety, and the husband figured, "Nah, it'll never happen here."
Yeah, exactly. Like what could possibly happen?
Could possibly go wrong.
Exactly that.
Oops.
So, Lisan, you expert on the orcs and stuff, right? You think they avoid the one place that defended, or you think they take advantage and just burn everything else?
Listen, make a knowledge roll.
They're gonna burn everything else.
Yeah, but are they going to burn everything else and avoid the places defended, or are they going to gather together and try and take down the places defended?
So a knowledge of what roll?
I'm trying to think of the actual best.
Orcs are my people, my hated people.
I'm trying to think. You know what? Yeah, no, because they are your favored enemy, right? You know all there is to know about orcs. Never mind, don't make the roll. It's fine. You know immediately that in terms of a militia or any stronghold, if you will, in an area, is a show of power. Orcs like to.
No, they'll take it as a challenge.
They take it as a challenge.
Yeah.
So there is a show of power happening, according to them, and they're probably, as far as you would know, if they go their standard course, they would definitely hit that.
That's going to be a target. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
I guess the other thing we have to figure out is, are they more likely to target there or Belliard itself?
No, yeah.
How big is Belliard relative to this ranch?
The Belliard is slightly no, it's definitely bigger. At least Belliard has more people in it.
Yeah.
The thing is currently Belliard is further away. And orcs, although they are quite brash, they're not stupid. going against Belliard sort of first seems kind of dumb when you can get sort of like pincered in the middle, right? I mean, they're smart. They're not going to do that. That's what Lasan thinks.
Put another way, they're lazy. They're not going to walk all the way to Belliard for a fight when there are a bunch of farmers over here.
There's that too. Yeah, why would they skip it? Yeah.
So we're closer to the Delman Ranch than we are to Belliard at this point?
Yeah, Delman Ranch is not very far from where you are right now.
Where's the Anderil farm compared to where we are? Is that where we are?
Yeah, you're at the Anderil farm right now. That's the buildings that you saved, except for the one to the farthest north there. They're all around.
That's cool.
How's the storm? Thank you.
Okay.
But
and the guys that were leaving with the wife, the wagons that we followed, we took that team out. They were heading north. Up to the pass. So
yeah, like more north and east. Right now, as far as the directions that you can get from the gentleman that you saved, the Delman Ranch is north, but a little bit further west.
It's northeast of this farm.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit north.
I'm looking at the map.
yeah, mostly north. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we should probably head there if you think that farmers congregate, and it's closer to on way to Belliard, right? Because we could probably just avoid it, but we should take these guys, just head down there, see how things going at Delman Ranch, and then if it's okay, maybe we can take them on to Belliard. Who knows?
Yeah, and you're not getting any argument from the wife of the man there. I should have names for these guys, but I don't. You're not getting any argument for her because you can basically see as you say that if she was like nodding, like this was like her idea from the beginning, was to go and be a part of the larger group of people, more safety in numbers, that sort of thing at the Delman Ranch.
Yeah.
We can escort them there. That seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Anything else you want to do around in this area?
You just have to burn the rest of the 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I just have one question.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure okay, so we're at a farm and the Delman Ranch is off to the northeast. The orcs we were following, were they heading toward the Delman Ranch? Were they heading more north than that? I thought they were heading north. I may even have that wrong. Were they going toward the Delman Ranch or in some other direction?
They were going in the direction of where you guys caught them. They were sort of going in the direction of the Delman Ranch, yeah, but they were probably heading someplace else, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So after you guys, this conversation's been going on. It takes me 10 minutes, but at some point, my eyes just sort of like roll back in my head, and I start like blinking really, really fast.
Uh-oh. Good job.
What I've done is I can read psychic imprints left on objects now because we are now level 3.
We've leveled. We have these.
We're level 3. So if I hold and concentrate on an object for 10 minutes, I can learn some basic facts about the object. I gain a mental image from the object's point of view, showing the last creature to hold the object, regardless of how long ago it was last handled. In addition, I also learn of any events that have occurred within 20 feet of the object within the last 24 hours. Events unfold from the object's perspective. I can see and hear, but I can't use any of their senses. Now, I don't actually speak Orcish, but what I'm getting is like fast forward or maybe like fast rewind version of everything that's happened around this object, including fast traveling endpoints. So I can see everywhere this orc has been in the last 24 hours. In particular, I'm interested to see if there has been any sort of orcish camps or anything that this orc has visited in the last 24 hours and where that might be. So I can just backtrack that route.
If you can repeat any of the things that you hear, any of the words you hear.
Oh, that's hard. Have you ever asked someone to try to repeat something they heard in a foreign language?
Have you ever heard me try to speak French?
Exactly.
You can't even hear the word breaks generally if you don't understand.
Yeah. You don't know what's a word and what's anything.
Specific words maybe being shouted out, but repeating whole sentences or anything would be extremely difficult. Yeah. If there are any standout words I can repeat, then that might work.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because Lasan, yeah, does speak Orc, but it's not going to work out for you there. You know, as a DM and that ability, that's not annoying at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Hey, I emailed you to let you know this was coming.
I know.
You were
I know.
warned.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay, so what do you see? What do you? Well, you hear a lot, but obviously you're not quite picking up on that. But right, so
And people in my chat have said, "Yeah, I'm a three-eyed raven now."
that's very
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's very apropos in this regard. You bit. What do they call him? Warg? Call him warg. Warg. Something.
Somebody said Quill just became overpowered. Just became? Just now?
Just now, you mean? Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot going on, and you know, what you see is a lot. There's a lot of travel time as well. You see the fields that you see around you now. Really, just a lot of that, to which you depict as being the orcs coming to here, Andorra Farm.
Mhm.
But prior to that, yes, there is indeed an encampment, and there are many orc and lots of supplies, lots of humans also in the camp, and different stages of dress. Also, some locked up, some beaten, some
I was gonna say human
serving.
prisoners. Okay.
Yeah, some serving other orc. Like there was one that was sort of like an older lady. She was carrying on her shoulders like a big couple of buckets of just like standard water buckets, but they seem to be full of some sort of food. And yeah, the state of the humans in this camp, as you're quite aware, is not very good. However, you also catch glimpse before. It seems like just before this orc that had this axe that you're looking at, before they set out, there was a massive pile of meat. And by that I mean possibly the largest orc you would ever heard of, like seen. You've never seen all the other orcs.
Like, what do they have, a pet dragon or something?
No. Out of all the other orcs, this thing is at least double in size. Like he's just massive.
Oh, great.
Is there like a little name that floats above his head?
Well as bulk?
What's that?
Like, is he actually 10 feet tall, or is he just like mostly bulk?
He's just mostly bulk. I mean, he is taller than the other orcs, but he is
just two orcs on one skeleton.
Basically, he is just very massive. Also, you notice quite quickly that he only has one eye. So that's something.
Of course.
And
He's one eye away from being superpowered.
There's
with no eyes, those are the most dangerous ones, right?
Yeah, I don't know how that works out, to be honest. It's like, light travels faster than sound, so how are you faster if you never mind. Anyway,
they don't focus on ranged attacks.
Right, that's true. Right, so anyway, it almost seems like this big brute of an orc is almost giving a blessing to the orc that you took the axe from before they set off. And then it's just like a quick rewind back to where you are currently. And that said, though, you get a good vision. You get a good idea where this encampment is. You can, it's not hard. These are plains. You can pretty much figure out where they are.
Okay. But how many were there again? Like 50?
Being in amongst because you're looking through the eyes of this orc.
I'm not saying he gets a perfect head count.
Yeah, but there's a lot. It seems like there's a lot.
Are there like 10?
4 dozen, 6 dozen, some kind of estimate like that?
Have they taken over a farm? You've been saying that they've been like staying in farms. Have they taken over a farm? Is this just sleeping out in the open? Do they have half a dozen tents kicked up? More?
Currently where this encampment is, there are some remaining looks like human buildings.
Okay.
There's some remaining
might
around.
have been a farm before.
Yeah.
I think we should still help this couple get to that more. That the farm we're going to, that's the one that's
Delman.
more defended, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It has
With
walls.
walls.
Entrenched. Yeah. So bringing them there seems like a good first idea.
Yep.
And then we can also check what the situation is there, and if there's anyone around. I mean, at some point, we can't let those orcs, have all those human prisoners. That's not right. I don't know how we go after the main body of this orcish horde. I don't know what we do about that, but we're gonna have to do something. But I think first step is escort these people to the other farm.
Well,
Okay.
you know, if they have walls, if we were defending walls with a bunch of other people against numbers, like if there are enough people to man the walls, then that could reduce the numbers a lot, and then we could think about assaulting the camp.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to attack there, or if we can bait them to attack there, like, you know, you lose sort of the element, you lose the initiative, but you gain a much more defensive location. And if they're trying to organize themselves into a militia, I mean, I still wouldn't want, you know, an individual to go toe-to-toe with an orc, but, you know, if you've got people with bows, if you've got people doing stuff like that, like, you can do a remarkable amount of things. You get people organized into a pike formation, you know, with just some spears, which are pretty, I mean, you get some wooden poles and sharp at the end. There you go.
You're pretty much done.
Sort of hedge thing going on. Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's some amount of evidence to, at least to the couple here. There's some amount of evidence that it would have been a much wiser idea to be at Delman Ranch.
All right. Yeah, Delman Ranch. Okay. That's where we're going.
Okay. All right.
So during the end of that 10 minutes that we had them gathering up whatever stuff they needed to take with them.
Yep.
Whatever small amount of stuff they want to bring as we're taking them to shelter.
Yeah. Personal items.
Did they have, I mean, we carried 2 carts back. Did they have a pony or a oxen or something? Are they loading up a wagon that we're escorting?
Yeah, no, in the carts there's a few different types of foodstuffs, some grain, that sort of thing as well, some dried meats, some barrels that have basically more dried meat. Standard resources, really. There are some tools as well in there, some bits of clothing, almost just like just cloth in various states of disrepair, and not much else besides that. Also, that's something else. The guy does mention that the orcs were trying to grab the horses, but the horses escaped the orcs at this particular point.
Well, the horses would have come back home, so that part's cool. And that's what I said. Are we taking one of their carts? Are they going to put their clothing belongings in it? Are we grabbing a horse and hitching up a cart to take them? Or are we just all walking up the road?
If we don't have a horse, I don't think we're bringing a cart.
Yeah.
Well, we don't, but you just said they did. Like, we're escorting.
Yeah, they have.
We're escorting them.
If their horses have come back, then yes, we can.
Horses always come back.
I'm just saying that. Yeah, but have they come back yet?
Yeah, they're not back yet.
There's still the smell. There's the fire. There's the smell of orcs around. You know, they might want to come back, but they, you know, that's kind of scary.
Eventually they would come back, but they're not back yet. I mean, you have to realize it's only been, since you guys got here, not even like 40 minutes, right? I mean.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, the horses haven't come back yet.
Again, with fire and smoke and orcs and stuff.
Actually, horses, the surprising thing is, running from the fire, what most horses will actually do is try to run back into a burning barn because that's where they're safe. But, yeah.
Enough.
But that's okay. We'll go on. Okay, so we're walking them. So gather up your stuff, guys, and then let's walk up the road.
Okay. All right, so, so we're just going to sort of, like, skip some time, I suppose. And Govanen has nothing really to add to all of this, except for he's wearing a bit of a disgust on his face because he doesn't like orcs either. So
we have my brother.
Yeah, Govanen is still here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy this group, and hello and thank you very much for following. That was grand. We got a new follower, everybody. Few actually today. So jump over here. And in between here and the Delman Ranch, you know what? I should probably roll for it. I just need that.
Uh-oh.
And
rolling his head.
Oh, you know what? It is gonna happen.
Of course.
So right. Okay. So, we're going to. I'm gonna reuse, I suppose, the last map because you're pretty much taking the same path. So we're gonna go back here, and we're just going to drag you over, I think. So you're pretty much just going back the way that you had followed and attacked the band of orcs. You're going back that way, and here you are. at this location again. And you guys can, move yourself around however you want. I will need some stealth checks.
See anything?
I gotta say the standard sort of thing where I flank a little further over to the left.
Okay.
And stealth, and maybe Lasan goes
We had
a
all
little
this
right
time.
and
I
stealth.
should be healed up, eh? Yeah.
Oh, we're back where we piled all the bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
And burned them, didn't we?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yep. Just
Okay.
at that little kind of half moon ridge thing there,
I'm just gonna
off
grab...
to the west.
So with disadvantage, I got 13 on stealth.
So what are we're rolling initiative?
Stealth.
No, you're rolling stealth at the moment.
Okay.
Roll stealth so you don't have to roll initiative.
22 for me.
Okay, stealthy. Oh, I tripped again.
Wow. You were too busy. Maybe he was just talking to your brother. I haven't seen him in a while, and now all of a sudden he's there.
All
he's,
right,
he's
the
cool.
brother's still there.
The skill that you are expert at is really not your thing.
This is I all the time, right? Last time too, it was terrible.
Okay, so what do we have? That unfortunately will fail. That one there. That's stealth check.
Terrible.
And I'm
Are
not
you,
going to roll
are you
for...
proficient in stealth?
What's that, sorry?
Is Lisan proficient in stealth? Like, so you have the... Yeah.
Yes.
You do have some...
You should have another +2 then, right? Don't you have... This is adding +4 for your dex, but it's not adding the skill bonus.
Yeah. Are you actually... Do you have the thing set to be proficiency yes on stealth? Or
Where you can use your
No,
proficiency
I don't.
bonus.
I don't.
maybe you hadn't put a point in that. I think your logic might have been, my dex is pretty good. I mean, the thing is, even with a +2 here, it would still only be 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing can save a roll of 4.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you guys are not going to get the on the surprise round that you wanted, but it would have been nice. So what you do find...
Steps on an accordion. Yeah, that's about it. God.
Okay.
Oh,
There seems to be a rather large dog-like beast, as well as another
maybe?
orc in this area. And the orc, even though it doesn't look like it visually right now, the orc is actually on the back of, riding on the back of this dog, if you will, or this wolf, I should say. It looks more like a... It's big, right? It's rather large. It's as big as Eric, really. Bigger, in fact.
It's like a dire wolf or something.
Yeah.
or a warg.
Like some kind of
A
warg.
warg.
Yeah, could be a thing. And in fact, Lasan, you would know more about the idea that, they have been known to ride wargs. So, warg is a thing.
A warg.
Yeah.
Oh, goody.
So, right, so there's going to be no surprise. You know what? Just roll initiative. Because he caught sight of you. Apparently, it's someone here almost like a scout, if you want to. I mean, I'm not going to have you roll to be like, what is he here for? He's basically a scout. You kind of already guessed that. So, yeah, just get some initiative rolls.
My little...
It looked like it was going to be an 18.
So I still have advantage because I'm running my celerity discipline.
Okay.
So I have... Oh, wow. An 8 or a 9. I guess I'll be the 9.
All right, let's see what we got here. We've got... Okay, then. What is your dex?
Terrible.
It's only that's weird. It's only a +1. Whatever. It's still awesome. Add turn. This one is going to go also. That. And then we have, okay. Right. He's riding on the back, so they're going to move together, if that makes any sense, but they will act differently. Is that how you would do that? They're two different entities. Even though they move together, would they attack at the same time or attack at... Should I roll one initiative or two?
Okay, you might want to treat it while he's riding. A lot of times the way it works, especially with like the companion animals and stuff like that in 5e, you might want to just have the orc do his initiative.
Okay.
Because he's sort of commanding the beast, right?
Right.
So it's on the orc's initiative. They move together as one, and then maybe they each get an attack or something.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if how the warg would attack, or if the warg would attack instead of the orc. I mean, if this was a player character, the player character would have to use his action to cause his mount to attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you might want to do it differently.
Which is just... Yeah.
Okay. So then I will skip the turn of the warg specifically because they are sort of riding together.
Yeah. It probably makes sense to have them go at the same time and then both attack or whatever. Unless they split up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. There we go. He's riding. And Lasan, you actually get the first strike.
I do. Okay.
Or I guess you could say they can move on the earliest initiative, and then they attack on separate initiatives if you want to split up their attacks and they're not quite as bursty.
Sounds more complicated. I don't know.
Yeah, it does sound more complicated. I would probably just do it as one, because it's work.
All right, so I'll go with on his initiative, which is an 11 anyway. So Lasan, you get to go, and then the orc will go, I guess.
Okay, let me just check on something because see now it's decision time. We're going to need a lot of healing today. Well, I have Hunter's Mark now, but are we going to need a lot of healing today? I can't remember what Hunter's Mark does. It makes something a lot better, but
Hunter's Mark. I'm trying to remember.
I'd have to look it up exactly, but I'm pretty sure it gives you an extra D8 damage when you hit the thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Is it your first attack that it does the extra D8, or is that something else?
It's probably first attack. I don't think it's like multiple.
Yeah. I think it's after it's been. No.
Is this a spell?
It's just 1d8. Yeah, it's just 1d8.
So an extra D8. So okay, roll to hit and then roll your damage. And
Where did we put this in last night? Why can't I find this?
Yeah.
Remember where we put it?
Hunter's Mark is a first level spell. You cast it as a bonus action. Concentration up to an hour. No, until the spell ends, you deal an extra 1d6 to the target whenever you hit it.
1d6.
That's it.
And if the target drops to 0 hit points before the spell ends, you can use a bonus action to mark a new creature.
To move it. Okay. All right. That's fine. Oh, so it's 1d6 and a 1d8.
But it's actually
really similar to the Warlock one.
Yeah.
It's actually a spell, and I'm just, that's also a healing thing. So
yeah, I wouldn't use it in this fight.
So I do have. Okay, so we will do this.
Ooh, that was good. That's
and
also
bad.
It's good for me. I like it.
That's bad. Okay.
You roll the 1,
but I get a second attack on the dog, on the warg.
Oh, you're right. I forgot Govanen's initiative. 1 second. Also, oh shit.
Oh yeah, Govanen. We always forget about him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna still count Lasan. This is your go, but Govanen does get to go before the.
So I get a second attack on the warg. Oh well, gee willikers.
Wow.
So I stepped on an accordion, and it baffled me so much that I can't aim anymore. But that's okay.
The accordion, your bow got all tangled up in the accordion.
That is unfortunate. He gets +4 to that.
Oh god!
All right,
I'm going to shoot an arrow, and then you realize you're actually not holding the bow at all. It's just the accordion with an arrow.
It was awesome.
So what gives you the ability to shoot twice? Is it the ranger type?
Yeah.
She took the hunter path. The hunter path. Her shoot multiple things.
Breaker as opposed to giant killer. Oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Actually, that's going to be really helpful.
Must have been the giant killer thing I was thinking of.
Well, the giant killer, I think, or Colossus Slayer or something. I can't remember what the other was. This is
Colossus. I don't know.
Yeah.
You get this right.
She aimed at the accordion instead of the
1 in 400 chance to roll double ones.
No one could blame you for wanting to shoot the accordion after that. To be fair.
I know, right? Just
Okay.
And what's the accordion version of?
But Wolf says try to shoot the arrows pointy side forward, Luzanne. Okay, I'll try harder next time.
Fletching first. Fletching first. We all know how this works. All right.
Charlie Brown Day.
So Govanen actually, I'm gonna treat that basically Govanen and you, Lasan, both win at the same time. The two elves take their shots at the orc. Yeah.
As long as he's slightly more accurate. Maybe Lasana's nervous because her big brother's here.
Yeah, it's always hard to shoot when somebody's watching, right?
Yeah.
What's his
Just try and type while someone's standing over your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
His first shot misses.
Oh well, the elves for the freaking win.
Okay, all right. The second shot barely hits, and I do mean barely hits. It's almost like it needed just that to hit. Anyway, hit AC 13, by the way, just so you know.
Extra
so he's going to do maybe 7. All right, so he does 7 points of damage to the orc on the back of this beast. And that's his turn. Unfortunately, he took 2 shots and only hit with 1. So, it is the orc's turn, and, yeah.
Come at us, bro.
How bad is it going to
He's
hurt?
running.
Don't grin. Don't
Running
grin,
away.
Briar. When you grin, I get nervous.
He's running. I'm going to say that, I mean, you can still sort of see him. I mean, if you have any extra long range there, he's going to run fast, though. This beast is running.
Oh, he's running away.
Yeah, it's full speed. The beast can actually go at a speed of 50. So it's running, so that's all it's doing. You know what? I think this combat is actually over. There's no way you can catch that.
Well,
But
hello, ranged weapons.
I know,
both
but
have a range of at least 120.
120? Because it's going at a speed of, what, 100 right now? And if he's going on a flat-out run, how far would he go at a speed of 50? Like 200 feet?
I don't know. I don't know if we have rules for running for like flat out run faster. Probably, I just don't remember.
Well, he's
If
going to
that-
use his entire move anyway, so it's going to be at least 100 feet. And what is he right now? You can definitely take some shots at him. I think Govanen and Lisan, I will give you the ability to take shots.
Anyone with a really long range weapon should be able to move up 30 and still shoot him this round.
Yeah.
How about magic missile? Does magic missile work for you?
Oh,
Magic missile would definitely hit, unerringly, I should say. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Noodle.
He's trying to get away.
We have to run
Jump
up
over here.
someplace. I can't
We
see
get another
that.
round of attacks on him.
But
So he takes 11.
3, 4.
Pew, pew, pew.
Oh, wow.
we get to shoot again. Do I
Don't
hit
miss.
something?
Hey, there we go.
Nice.
And the second one.
Damn it.
Did I hit him?
Not on 12.
That would be the war.
No, not on the 12. You missed. Barely.
But the 26 hits him
Yep.
for 9.
Yeah,
so
no.
My 11 plus her 9 plus Golvanen gets another shot.
Yeah,
Apparently.
I'm going to
Yes.
say right now, where is he? He's just going to grab him. There he is.
Do
Yeah,
it.
in the distance, you see the orc sort of just slide off the saddle of his warg. And his warg,
Nice.
warg keeps running, though. He's just in a
Okay.
Yeah.
So the warg is
Still might alert some stuff, but that's
Okay.
the way it's supposed to be.
I really wanted that guy to get away. All right. Anyway, he's dead. Okay, we're going to let you guys get up to him. The warg is gone, though. I'm going to move him over here so I can just get him out of the way.
Yeah.
And we're going to incapacitate him.
We'll check his body for loot and messages and standard stuff, although we don't expect a whole lot of valuables on the orcs based on the pattern we've seen so far.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So the orc is, and that's the end of the combat. That's just that. It would have been nice if he got away because there's awesome things that could happen for that, but apparently that's not going to happen. Thanks, guys,
Awesome.
for ruining my day.
That's the PT's job.
All right.
Anytime.
So yeah, go to check the body. The body, to sort of pass some time there. The body has an axe. Obviously, has an axe. They all tend to seem to have an axe, and he has a parchment that is currently empty. Like it's not really empty. It's got a few scribblings in Orcish. But it seems like he was interrupted mid-write. Lisan, if you were to read it, you would... That was also a donation. Lord of Time, thank you for that $50 donation. Jesus.
Oh, thank you
Wow.
very much.
All right,
Lovely.
man.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Very nice.
What was I saying? All right.
Thank you.
The parchment...
He was writing something.
He's writing about a pile of bodies.
Okay.
And that's basically as far as it says. I mean...
He was making a report.
Yeah. Seems like he was making a report of the area.
We have orcs that are writing reports.
Yeah.
I assumed it was going to be a note. It's like, note to self, don't get shot.
Don't get shot in back as you try to
But he was
run
like
away.
halfway through writing it. And
Yeah.
hadn't finished it. So that's why I just
Wow.
added him.
Lord of Time with the second donation. That's your second donation. Jesus, man. Thank you very much. Generosity knows no bounds.
It's really nice. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's the quick aside. That's all you get from that. The warg. I mean, you can take shots at the warg if you want to. In fact, after you didn't all have to hit this orc to bring him down. He would have slid off his mount long before you all finished your shots. The warg could be shot at if you want.
We can? Sure.
Yeah,
If we can, we will.
yeah.
Oh, Golvanen hasn't gone.
That's true. I'll take go advantage. Let's go for that.
I mean, I assume this is the same round I magic missile. So.
And he misses.
And I'm not going to waste another magic missile.
And he misses.
Although, if I do get a go again, I can always, like, Psy Blast him, or whatever it's called. Thought Spear. Because it's also got a range of 120.
Oh, well,
oh, I don't get a second one on a second. Okay, I just get the one on that. Ignore that last.
Well, technically,
sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to override you, but I was just gonna say, technically, the magic missile that you used, Tau, did hit, so that was your initiative. And
that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the arrow that struck him also from Lisanne, that was her initiative. So Govanen was the only one that didn't go.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's still going to be running another 100 feet by the time you guys get to go again.
Okay, it's probably.
Which is pretty far.
At that point, that you can long range that with bows and you get disadvantage, right? Don't they go up to 300 at long range?
I think 300. So it's actually still within range. So Lisanne?
So both elves still get a shot, but at disadvantage.
Yeah, which is a minus.
So that means we roll twice and take the lesser?
Yeah, well, you already rolled 2 more shots, and they both would
take
hit.
one of
So
them.
we can just use, like,
Does it hit?
Yeah.
Does the 15 hit?
That's your second one, eh?
Yeah.
15 does hit.
Probably take the first damage because you're not supposed to, like, roll.
So it does 9 there?
Yeah, well, it's just better if you just roll both twice and just take whichever one is the one you fit. That's what I've been doing for all my advantage attacks.
Okay,
just hit the button twice and then pick whatever.
Yeah.
Govanen will hit this time. He took 2 more shots, missed 1, but he does get 1 in on that. That's going to be 8 points. Okay, so yeah, 2 more arrows sort of sink into the haunch, the rear haunches of this animal, but it is still going. It's still running away. Actually, even trying to get away faster now, seems.
It runs pretty fast considering how butt-shot it is.
Yeah.
HPs are an abstraction.
Yeah. Basically.
So now,
you're tiring it out more than you're taking.
Well, quadrupeds don't need their butts for running as much as we do.
Right.
We really need our butt to run.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's an important component.
I need my butt to sit as well. Otherwise, I just slide off into the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Right. And I think that's probably going to end it there. It's going to be over 300 feet at that next point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So the war gets away. Unfortunately. So that's done. Get rid of it. And okay, yeah, so there's the parchment that you found, the bit of writing. It seems like the scout was trying to write something, some notes there. You took that. You take the axe, I guess, as well?
Yeah, we can sell axes, yeah.
It's not masterwork or anything, but it still can be sold for something.
Yeah.
Well, nothing's masterwork in 5th edition.
Well, there's that too. All right, so now, I think that is a bit of an aside done. We're going to gather everybody up again. And this time, we are going to make it to Delman Ranch. So you guys get ready. I'll pop you in. We're going to be right over here. You're coming in from, this side, I suppose. Actually, no, it would be down here. Right. Boop. There we go.
We're booping?
Booping.
We have whoops.
And that grid is probably a little small. What is that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Yeah, no, that's definitely, the grid's a little bit wrong. 1 second. It has snap to the grids when I put things in, so I make the grid smaller so I can, like, rearrange pieces easier. But, yeah. And every square is 5 feet. Right, so that's something. Okay. And I'm going to move the players over now so you can see.
Okay.
Seeing is good.
Have to find it.
Oh, look at this place.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, just a few buildings, and they put walls in between. That's smart.
Yeah, and
I like that.
to be quite honest, the walls are, just because of the program I'm using, the walls are actually supposed to be really, really thick posts of wood.
Right.
So, like, like almost at least 3 feet in diameter. So every single post. Yeah, they're really thick posts. This is not a simple wall. So
we can get up on top of it and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. You could actually walk across the top. Most of it is thick. Well, actually, no. Sorry, you can't really walk across the top because, as you'll notice, and even from your vantage point, you can see right now there's some. Well, it just looks like common garb, so it just looks like commoners or whatever. In multiple areas around the wall, they're sharpening the top.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they're taking it and turning it to like pikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, we can still get on top of the roof of the buildings. How tall is the wall? Are there arrows?
The wall
Anything
sits average height of the wall, except for where you guys are right now. It seems much taller, just because you're downhill a bit. But it's roughly 10-12 feet.
And it sits up on a hill as well, so we have a little hill fort up here.
Yeah. No, this ranch is everything around this ranch is at a bit of an incline. It all goes downhill from here.
Ah,
That is not foreshadowing. Just want to say, well, it could be, but yeah, it's all downhill from here.
All right.
Okay. So they greet us in any fashion as we approach.
Yeah, no, from this particular side, you do hear some yells coming, saying that there's people coming at the animal gate.
Yeah, they should have good vision.
Yeah, they do. And this guy here walks over. He's leaving his guard post by the other gate there. And this guy over here as well is approaching you from this side. Okay. And yes, the one with the crossbow. There's one with a spear, sort of lightly dressed. There's one with a crossbow, and he has full armor. Like he's decked out, this guy. And he's the one who hails you first and asks about your reason for being here at the Delman Ranch.
Well, we have the couple.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, this guy doesn't, he doesn't.
Because orcs.
Because orcs, that works.
Because orcs, yeah.
He's asking you where you hail from.
The Red Larch. We're from Red Larch. We're heading this way.
We heard you had an infestation, and we thought we might help clear it up.
Okay.
These guys had some smoke, some small orc problem. He's gone now.
Very good. Very good. As you guys are talking with the man with the crossbow there, the one towards the north, the one carrying a spear, sort of chimes in, and he says, "Orcs, the orcs that are around us are going to pay dearly with their lives for what they have done, and we have things already figured out here. We don't need your help." And as soon as he says that, the other guy with the crossbow, right? He doesn't have a bolt in it, but he aims the crossbow at the guy and says, "Seriously, this again? Shut up."
Good.
That's
appropriate.
Spear boy doesn't like outsiders, I guess. Too proud.
Yeah, or whatever. There's definitely a story there for whatever it is.
Anyway, I don't remember offering him any help at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you say that out loud then?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
remember offering you any help at all.
Right. He just
We've been killing
scoffs.
orcs on our own just fine.
Right. Okay. He just scoffs. He turns around, and he says, "Well, I'm not burying you," and he just walks away.
We weren't planning
what's
on
that
having
guy's
you
name?
bury us anyway.
You're
Just so
asking
that
the guard,
Yeah.
the guy with the crossbow. His name, the guard tells you pretty fast, is Findrick Delman.
All right. That way, when you guys all get killed in the orc attack, I'll know which grave to come back and pee on.
Ooh, wow.
So
Beauty
is he
lady.
owner or owner's son or
Yes, he is one of the sons.
nephew? Okay.
Yeah, he's quick to answer that. Yeah, he's one of the sons. He is Mr. Delman's son, and he refers to him as Mr. Delman, which almost seems like in a sort of not a reverent way, but you kind of get it as that's maybe his boss type of thing.
I take it Mr. Delman maybe a little smarter, want extra defense if available.
He doesn't comment on the smarter part. But he does say there's always a need for more hands. There's plenty of work left to be done, and we have a feeling with the encampment just in view, because you can see it from here. It's a bit of a nice hill. With the encampment just in view, everybody's quite on edge, and they're wondering if they're going to attack.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think, guys? Would you maybe hang out here a bit?
He's talking to you, I guess.
Hang out here a bit, do some scouting around. Well, this guy who's talking to us, like, what news does he have? The orcs, what do you have? Have you been attacked? This couple that we've delivered, certainly gave us the indication that a lot of farmers are moving this way, that you've been taking people in to protect them.
Do we think the orcs are coming back here anytime soon? Because there's all those people that are being held prisoner, and it would be good to go and do something there too. I don't want to just sit on my keister and let people, get tortured.
Yeah, as you mentioned that, though, no, there's a flash of concern across his face, and he sort of nods in a way that sort of like just gives you the idea that he knows about the other, like, the captives and stuff like that. He knows a lot about that, or at least he's aware, and that it's a possibility. But he does say regarding going after the orcs or whatever or anything like that. He says that the walls are where he is being paid to protect. So he's definitely not. He's not leaving the walls, and he would say specifically that it seems unwise to leave the walls.
Okay, well, we're not telling him to leave the walls.
Do they know? Okay. Do they know where the encampment is?
Yeah, he said they can see it from here.
Yeah.
We can see it from here.
Yeah. It's
or we could if you were up on the walls.
It's one of the faraway farms, and he points at it, and you can see it just on the horizon there.
I pop up in the ceiling. I want to look that way and see if there's, what kind of activity is going on in the distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, what time of day is it now? Because I'm a little bit worried about the orcs attacking at night when they have dark vision and other people don't.
Actually, go Van and we'll join you up there as well. Right, when these people don't have dark vision, they have to light torches and everything at night. And he's quick to say that there have been some skirmishes at night, like very minor things, and it usually just involved just shots in the dark at most at what they heard moving around. He's pretty certain, given the past military experience he's had, it's just they're sending scouts. They're just trying to figure out what sort of defenses we have, how many people, that sort of thing.
Have you sent out scouts? Do you have any idea how many orcs you're dealing with? Can we tell? Can we see?
They had scouts initially, and then they stopped sending them out because they weren't coming back.
Is this the encampment that I spotted during my my psionic mind meld with the axe?
The one that you can you're looking at, the one in the distance?
Yeah.
With some of the buildings and the way that they are in disarray. I mean, it's pretty far off, mind you, but from what you can see, it could certainly be.
Okay. Well, I mean, I am no soldier. The idea of and I'm also not particularly patient. The idea of sitting here behind these walls and waiting for someone to come to me isn't normally the way I would operate. I would feel much comfortable being a blade in the night. Hunting orcs, taking out the patrol groups, the scouts, maybe even venturing to the camp and trying to assassinate the leader. That's the way that I operate.
Well, I think we should,
and apparently we're not wanted here anyway.
Yeah. There is that, right? He does speak up really fast. It says, no, we feel like we need all the help we can get. That's what he says specifically. If you were to have a few words with Mr. Delman, he would likewise say the same. And there's also coin in it, in defensive. That's why a lot of the other people have actually shown up. Weren't just because, they needed protection, but because there's also a reward. Mr. Delman wants to keep his ranch.
Okay, so he's paying people who want to come and help defend?
Yeah. So you go do a good deed and you get paid in reward as well. I mean, it's like a no-brainer for him, for this particular fellow talking to you right now.
Right.
And with that bit of dialogue, I think we're going to take a break real fast.
Okay.
Get some refill on some beverages and everything, because things are either going to go more as a stealth mode or maybe defensive mode. Who knows? Anyway, things are afoot. Very, very interesting things. And we will be right back, everybody.
Okay.
Moments.
Bye.
Well, alright, we have returned, everybody. Let's go ahead and get this started back again with Quill, Demonac, and a Kiss for Luck. Hello.
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 Alright, so let's get some FaceTime. 3, 2, 1. Faces, everybody in a circle, ready to go. Or square, rectangle, where are we? Sort of things. Anyway, shapes. Good. So, you guys were just talking to one of the guardsmen. And he has sort of let you know that regardless of Fendrick there, your help would be very much appreciated in Delman Ranch. If you were to go talk to Mr. Delman, it might seem like a good idea, at least in his books. See whether or not you can help out in and around the area, or at least if you have any strategies, also a good idea to go talk about it. So,
Well, yeah, we'll go talk to him first.
The
I still
farmers
think
will
I'd like to scout out the camp a little bit.
Yeah.
okay.
But give him a chat.
Okay, so the idea of scouting is indeed a thing. I will mention right now that what's going to come up right now is a bit of a mini game, if you will. So from here on out, whatever you decide to do, whether you decide to reinforce the perimeter of this place, even if you decide to leave, you can do that too. But if you decide to help out in any way, the things that you suggest will have sort of, it would get you merits, like bonuses to rolls and stuff like that could happen, things that could happen in the future. You'll get bonuses to your rolls. And anything that you sort of like need, like if you need something, then it will be sort of a demerit. So if you are helping, you gain bonuses. If you need something from everybody else, then you will get demerits. Right? It'll be like the minuses. And
Widow doesn't need anything from anyone.
there you go. And if you decide to, give help in a certain regard, and then at the last moment or somewhere during whatever combat or what have you, decide that no, you want to change that, then you get it. It's double the demerit, right? So make sure whatever you do, like say for instance, to give you an idea, you say I want all capable archers on the wall to fire outside the wall. That's what we want. Just keep the line and just ranged attacks all day long, right? But what if somebody gets inside? Can you handle a battle inside, or will you need them to say, hey, no, we need some ranged attacks down here? If you say no, we need ranged attacks here, then you're going to get more demerits. Basically, you're redirecting in the middle of battle, and so things get confused, and yeah.
So you're saying that we could end up in a situation where we're giving orders to these people,
Yeah.
and if we change our order at any point in a battle because the tide of battle has changed, we're going to be getting kind of some disadvantages or demerit points or something for that?
As people reorganize, there's a moment where they're most effective.
Reorganization is quite difficult. I mean,
Okay.
the only way that it would be different is if, like for instance, Mr. Delman, who is a noble and who has like leadership feats and stuff like that, he can reorganize things.
Okay.
And it doesn't count negatively against you, right? But if you try to reorganize things, then yeah, it will count against you.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, and then there's going to be rolls, from here on out.
Apparently, untrained militia suck at this. Apparently.
Well, these are just people,
Yeah,
right?
these are farmers and
Yeah.
And none of us are soldiers. We're not used to organizing.
Oh my goodness.
No.
This is gonna be terrible.
This is it's gonna be quite interesting, and I will, as a disclaimer to anybody watching, this is the first time I've done something like this. I followed rules for this sort of engagement, but this is the first time I've ever run anything quite like this. So hopefully it goes smoothly, and we'll see how things go. Are you guys moving into the center of the ranch there to talk to Mr. Delman?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I'll just I'll move Govanen, and you guys, if you want, you should be able to see him. He's right here in the middle. I'll just take Govanen and put him there, and you'll know where to go.
Where?
So he's the guy with the balding head.
Oh, over here. Okay.
Next to the well.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Okay.
I can see the little shiny dot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you come in, you approach inside, and you go by way of the other gate, the eastern gate, just to this side, because you're being escorted by the guard. That's where he was guarding. He was on the eastern gate. So you come in by that way. Tao, are you still on the building there, or did you want to move in? Or are you just thinking?
I'm not sure he can hear.
Tao, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay. I was just wondering if you were moving into
Reading
the.
the chat.
Oh, okay, right. I was just wondering if you were moving into the center to talk with
yeah, of course.
Delman and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll just put you over there. Okay, very good. I just didn't want to move you without your permission. All right. So, yes. So Kerbin, this is the situation, right? Out in the distance, you hear the loud clanging. The blacksmith, hard at work. Things are going on there. People are running back and forth. Kids with carrying big supply, bundles of supplies, going in and outside doors. Everybody seems
people
to be.
are here.
There's several. At a quick count, there is more than 40. Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of people here. And that's excluding the children, right? There's a lot of children running around here as well, and they're on about different tasks. Some are sort of playing in between, but most of them have tasks.
So the people on the map, are they the only people who are going to be participating in the combat?
They are no. They well, it could be. It depends. You guys have decisions to make here, but specifically these are the NPCs that are you can approach and talk to and perhaps gain some amount of insight with different questions that you want to ask. And
well, we don't want the children to get hurt, so we should store them all in the well.
That sounds like a great idea. That's an amazing idea.
Just tie ropes and dangle them over. Just pile them
covered
on.
up and they're nothing.
Very good.
This building over here, what are the walls made of? Is it
Center
fieldstone, brick, that sort of thing, or are they all wooden buildings? Particularly interested in the ones that don't have a thatched roof.
Yeah, well, different ones have different things. Now, none of these the main buildings there are wooden shingles, or not wooden shingles, but stone shingles. Or slate, if you will. And then, the thatched houses seem more like
flammable.
Yeah, well, obviously that, but in they're wooden walls, specifically on stone foundations.
Okay, but the ones with the tiles, the tiles over here, what are the walls made out of?
They're mostly wood as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Wooden walls, stone foundations, and that's basically all of these are like that. The only one that is an exception is the blacksmith. The blacksmith has more stone in its wall, but still has a thatch roof.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So just to give you an idea what's going on.
So what information does this man have? How many warriors, or how many actual soldiers and or guards or trained in some fashion men are in this place?
Right. Okay. So getting back to his name is Kerbin Delman, by the way.
Kerbin.
Yep.
Okay. Hello, Kerbin. Oh, buddy. Oh, boy.
Yep.
What you got?
You sort of catch him mid talking. He's directing. He's Mr. Director, right? He's a supervisor. He's you do that and you blah, 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 blah. He's just talking a lot and he's spinning around in circles basically. But yes, he catches sight of you. And as he's talking to somebody else, he just kind of waves you over. It's come here. So you guys walk over. Next to him is another older gentleman, not as old as he is, but he's standing next to him there, sort of decked out in full armor as well, and he's standing there, noble-like. Does anybody want to do an insight check though?
Yeah, it is.
This is an easy insight. It's just I'm gonna say, that's plenty. So, and this is actually perfect for you, Demonac. You look at him and you notice immediately. You're like, his footing's he's a little off. It looks like he's not used to being in that much armor.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
not
sort of
actually
awkward.
a warrior.
Yeah, he's awkward looking. But anyway, the older gentleman, Kerbin himself, he does welcome you to Kerbin Ranch, and he asks of you your purpose and whether or not if it is to help save the people.
Well, indirectly, primary goal is to kill orcs.
We're here to kill orcs.
Hey, look, saving people is good.
Saving people is great.
Right. He looks at you very puzzlingly, and he asks you directly. Tao, for instance, he's like, "How exactly do you plan on wiping out an army of orcs?"
How big
Usually
is the
one at a time.
One at a time. And if you can't get them one at a time,
Well,
3 at a
If you're
time.
patient enough, it usually happens.
More of us can probably take about 2 each at a time. So, they come
As
8
long
at
as they
a time.
line up, it's fine.
If they come 8 at a time, we should be okay.
how much experience do you have in killing orcs? And this is because you're talking about like you're talking about 2 at a time and 1 person and 2 and stuff like that. He looks at Eric. He's like seriously, like how much do you have? How much experience do you have in killing orcs?
We killed a couple earlier today.
Okay. There's a bit more of a this is happening. It's sort of ease in the stone exterior of his face, like he's starting to get this little bit of a
And Tao
So I'm
and
not
I
This
was
is one of
messing-
those couples that is actually quite a bit more than 2.
interesting.
but say Tao and I could
Today.
look at each other and go, a lifetime.
Mm.
A lifetime.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
more their thing.
Yeah, so you guys are sort of winning over his exterior was all about like, am I here with amateurs again, or where do I send them? Where do I put them?
And I say in orc, we're angry. We're here to kill these SOBs because we've been haunting my life, my generations of my family. And I'm just spurring it out in
You
orc.
say this in
And it's
Orcish?
like- Done this.
Yeah.
I've done this once or twice.
Yeah, he looks
Actually,
at you-
like,
he looks at
we
you
open
with
up
a
like, I don't know, I'm assuming Eric's pack, and like we just grab like 8 great axes,
Yeah.
throw them down.
And toss them down in the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
Yes. Let them use them. Yeah.
We've been
Yeah.
busy.
We found some of these.
right. Yeah.
Just
So
fine.
this is fun. All right. So
We're still warm.
Kerbin looks down at the ground. He just like sort of half mouth open, looks at the ground, sees the axes lying there, and he looks at the gentleman standing beside him, and he looks back down at the axes, and he's like, "Get those to the blacksmith." He just
Oh,
There you
oh, hold on.
go.
These are free. That's funny.
He thinks we're donating them.
I never assume anything is free. I will always pay for services and
I'm
merchandise.
not going to extort these people or whatever, but still.
Wait,
If you're looking, if there was talk about hiring us, if that's the relationship we're going to develop, then let's develop that relationship.
Yeah. We give good price on axes. Not that great.
Mm-hmm.
He
Two
says
for one
outright.
special.
He's like, specifically regarding the tools. He calls them tools. They're weapons, obviously, but he calls them tools. Regarding the tools, generally most people who come in here aren't even worth the food,
Mm,
right? And
Gotta protect people. I understand.
right,
yeah.
and right now, he's looking at you all with some amount of respect, and he asks you right directly, "May I procure these tools from you for now? I could even give them back to you later if you do not accept the price I'm willing to pay you. Right now, everything has to move. I can't argue with, I can't barter right now. Don't have the time."
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we didn't come here
That's
for
right.
shelter. We came here
Exactly.
because we are hunting the orcs. And if, joining in your defense here is going to help us do that, well, then I don't see why we wouldn't. Although, again, before night falls, which is when it sounds like they get harassed a little bit more,
Yep.
I definitely still want to go out and take a closer look at the camp.
Okay.
Still from a distance,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, no, he gives you the wary eye with that going out at night when there's orcs on foot there.
Don't worry, we're quite stealthy as long as there's no accordions around.
And that you don't seem that it doesn't seem like he's doubting that. It just seems very unwise to him regardless.
I wonder how many dinner conversations I'm going to hear that one in for the next while.
Which one was that? I missed something apparently. What was it?
As long as there's no accordions around, we're quite stealthy.
Oh, right. Yes.
I just heard that in the kitchen downstairs.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. Oh God, this
Right.
is gonna
All right.
last.
I like walls good, but we maybe go out and if we catch some orcs before they get to walls, we deal with some of them, and then when too many, fall back, help you defend.
So
Sound
you mean lay in traps then? Because we've had some people go out to lay traps, and we haven't seen them for close to 3 days now.
Yeah.
Well, Lasan may be able to set some snares and traps. That might be her sort of thing. I'm thinking a little bit more ambushy kind of trap.
Yeah.
But there are also a couple of things that come to mind. At this point, like, Tao's sort of like switching.
I should still have that bear trap somewhere. I like throwing the bear trap in my backpack.
Yeah, you do have a bear trap. That's interesting.
Trap's okay. Trap's okay. Could probably take out orc with this, and then just give it like a big swing, just like in the air, just like.
You just get as a weapon now.
That should be fine. Swing around.
That's not where I thought you were gonna go with the bear trap.
There's a certain amount of adeptness to your swing with an item that he was not prepared for.
It looks strong
when you just
either
throw it
way.
into someone's face. This is how a bear trap
This is
works,
a bear
right?
trap. All right.
Two things that come to mind related to the defense. One, digging pits and things like that or outside the walls are going to be a great idea. If you can fill it with sharpened sticks, that'd be great. But the other thing is, we've seen the orcs like to use fire.
Mhm.
You need to fill absolutely every container you can ahead of
Yes.
time with water, and the non-combatants need to get ready with like a bucket brigade kind of set up from the well.
Yeah.
Because that'll be one of the most important jobs is making sure things
If
don't come out.
water is plentiful, may want to wet down thatch
Yes.
roof beforehand.
Now,
Yeah.
it should be wetting
If
down
water is
walls
not
and
in short
now.
supply. If in short supply, maybe think about
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
That is a very good point. So that is something I'm gonna note. Yeah, he nods at you and he sets the man standing next to him. He says, "Oh, sorry, by the way, my rudeness. This is my son,
We've met.
Perd Delman. This is Perd Delman, and
Purd.
yeah,
Good old Purd. Okay.
and Perd.
Explains why he's cranky.
Well, you haven't
No,
met
the cranky
him.
guy was the guy outside.
Yeah.
Felled or whatever.
Oh, I thought it was the Delman, one of the Delmans. So
It
the
is.
cranky one.
Well, he tends to have
His
several
mobile
sons.
son.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Right. So yeah, no. Perd nods at you, trying to, all sort of noble, like a little bit weird though, because again, the armor, he doesn't know how to do things. But anyway, he he nods to you, and after the introduction, Kerbin tells him, says, "Go and make sure that all the kids are on, about, and preparing the thatch roofs with water. Wet them down." And he does, and so Perd takes off, and he's just basically over here talking to a group of kids, because this group of kids, you don't see them, they're not pictured, but the group of kids over here, they're sort of like just hanging out, lazing around in the sun. And
Not anymore.
Children are best described and not seen.
yeah, exactly. I like that. And right, so that's he's off doing that, and Kerbin looks at you and says, "Is there anything else that you would
So,
perhaps?"
what time of day is it? Like, how far are we from darkness falling?
Right now, it's middle of the afternoon. It's getting on into later.
That's very specific. Yes. Do we have like an hour or two, or
But before
Well,
nightfall,
it's summer.
you
Yeah,
have about
sunset,
you have about 4 hours before before nightfall, or it starts to get dark. It won't be fully dark until about 5 or 6 hours, but it starts to get dark in 4 hours.
Okay, so we have kids and well, anybody who's not non-combatants are watering down walls, thatch roofs, and then refilling water, every container possible with water. Could we get men who are capable and who are not doing something else, obviously, I don't know what chores he's doing, digging these pits. I like the idea of having some sort of ditch away from the walls so that, the orcs have got some sort of barrier before they're right there at the wall setting fire to things.
It's good. I'm worried that does take like a lot of manpower.
It
Like,
does.
if we had a week to prepare, the dishes would be amazing. But I'm wondering how much. We can dig a ditch around the whole place right now. So
back to my original question: how many combatants are in this place? How many people do we have to fight with?
So he looks at you. He looks at you and says specifically his last count of people prepared to fight. Not that they fight well, mind you, but everybody who is prepared to fight is there's 30.
And how many of them have bows?
Actually, I have that written down.
Yeah, that's an important fact. Because those people can contribute without dying so much.
Yeah, so they've had like the farms. There's 3 farms around that were specifically good at procuring meat. So they have hunters. So at last count, there are 8 bows and 1 crossbow. There's 8 bows and 1 crossbow that they have in their possession, and the crossbow belongs to the man who escorted you in.
And the thing is, even if we could scramble together more bows, that's not necessarily going to help that much because the people that don't come with bows probably aren't good with bows.
Yeah, there's going to
We
be
don't
yeah.
If we think we're getting attacked tonight, that's not a lot of hours to train people in shooting.
No.
So we have 8 long range, and Tau can be long range with the magic missile.
We have 9 long range. 8 bows, 1 crossbow.
8. Okay, so
Right.
9. We add 3 more with Govanen. Do you have anybody else who do you have magic users, healers? Do you happen to have a cousin? One of your sons is a wizard. Say something.
one of my daughters, actually. He says, "Where's her? She's there, right? Yeah, one of my daughters, Drina. She is a member of the Emerald Enclave, and she has been a druid for quite some time. So if by caster you mean that, then yes, that's Drina.
Yeah, that fits.
That helps.
We don't need someone necessarily to cast Fireball. That might have been asking a lot. One of the things that caught my attention right away is the little animal, like paddock that you've got going on here.
The animal paddock? Oh, like the little
animal area.
Yep. What about it? Oh,
what I like about it is that there's a gate into it, but there's no other gate from there into the primary space. What I would kind of like to do, and I'll present this as a group, and we can figure out if that's a good idea. Is imagine we have that gate open a little. And then you drive big stakes into the ground, so it can't be easily pushed any more than that. It's just big enough that you can only get squeeze 1 orc through at a time, and then have them funnel in here. There's no other way to get into the thing, but if they can come in 1 at a time, at least a few, and then we just pepper them with arrows, or have 1 melee combatter there, and we have 1 rope over the wall so we can run away. If me and Eric, or some combination or whatever, was in there 1 orc at a time. And then at some point we go to the ropes, we get hauled over with some help, and then we get rid of the ropes or something.
So
turn this into an extra little killing area.
What you're saying is that we should entice them, leave the gate open, undefended on that side, and see if they take the bait.
Yeah.
Apparently undefended.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's a good idea. It's just one of the ideas that, if there's an inner wall that's exactly the same as the outer wall, then maybe that's something we can do to thin the number.
That's a good
On
question.
the other hand, if they just come a dozen of them at a time and slam the door open, then maybe it'll give them a better avenue to attack us, because the walls of the buildings might not be as strong, or I don't know what.
Right. No, the inner wall is as big as the outer wall, to answer that question. It's not currently being sharpened, though, like the other ones.
Okay.
So it is more scalable, is what it is.
Right, but it also means we can stand on there pretty easily.
Stand on it.
Yeah.
Okay, this building in the center, is that the barn? The main barn?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so these animals need to be moved into that. We don't need panicked animals bunging around running into us. If any, like you said, getting Eric down here, if you guys are going to be fighting in this enclosure, you don't need terrified animals messing around.
Okay.
Unless you want to leave them there as
well, they're out grazing right now
for the orcs coming through.
The orcs don't. We do put them up at night.
Okay.
The orcs don't come usually during the day, so we have them out to sort of graze while they have the chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kids
So
doing
there's no entrance into that barn from the enclosure directly, though, is there?
No, there is. It's a rather big 2-leaved door, very very heavy. And it has a locking mechanism.
Another actual way in.
Yeah. No, there is. The doors do open in. So he does. Kerbin does say that it should be easily barricaded.
Okay.
So it's not like it's not 100% enclosed for Tau's plan, although it's still like another layer. They're still effectively outside if they're in that area.
Yeah. Yeah, if they do go in that way.
they'll still have to get through. Okay, so we're saying this is going to be actually fixed in some ways, so it's partially open, one orc wide to come in. So we can hopefully channel some through and take them out easily there. This wall we can stand on. This wall we can stand on, or the archers can if they come through that way. I mean, if they're fighting over here, then this isn't going to be a plan. This has got a great big door in it. We can put the animals in, but that can be barred. But that will be kind of, that door would probably be the way, the easiest access for them to gain.
That more climbing 10 to 12 foot non-sharpened.
Yeah.
How far are we from town?
Currently, take a look.
Scale of that.
That's where is it? A few miles there.
That's not very specific.
I'm trying to figure it out. There it is. So that's going to be about 30 miles currently.
We're 30 miles from town? Okay. So going to town to get some reinforcements, not really viable.
No.
Yeah. It's like a day's travel.
Yeah, about 30 miles out you are currently.
Plus, even though we think they're going to attack tonight, we don't have a lot of evidence.
Yeah, no.
True.
Yeah,
it could be the same thing. They keep sending scouts. They keep, at least what he's thinking is scouts. The reports he hears from people on the wall, even though they take shots in the dark, they haven't hit anything, mind you, but they take shots in the dark all the time, and it sounds like wolves running, and according to the guard out on the east gate, that's usually a scout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got these guys working, doing whatever, getting the gate ready, getting things sweated down, getting supplies, do blah 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 blah. Are we going to go out and head toward the camp a little bit before it gets dark and see if we can find something along the way? Find out a little bit more about what kind of, are they sitting around partying and drunk tonight, or are they getting ready for a battle? We need information.
Right. Well, he does seem like he's a little bit timid about sending you out that direction because, again, like according to him, everybody he sends out that way, they don't usually come back. And you tend to be probably some of the best equipped people he's seen come through here for helping. But who is he to stop you? I mean, he's not going to stop you.
So I don't know. I was just thinking, like, the trenches idea, I wasn't trying to nix that. Maybe we just have them do the trenches just in front of the gates, right?
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, because the whole area would be ridiculous. It would take way too much manpower. But just in front of the two, not the animal gate, just like in front of the other two gates, we have them dig trenches in those places.
Okay.
Is that a gate over there? Okay.
Which one? Sorry, which one I'm looking at?
That ping that we should.
That is a gate. That's the east gate.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's one over here.
Yeah, where the jerk ass is standing guard outside.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So we can.
And whatever you can put in front of those would, whatever you can do, right? You do what you can.
Yeah, they usually block it with bodies.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people who stand watch in and around those areas, like the nighttime watch, which are several people, which is why, like, when he tells you about the 30 capable, you don't see that many currently outside right now. And your best guess right now is that they're sleeping.
Okay.
Of course,
This big tree over here, they could use that to climb over the wall, couldn't they?
Yeah, we might need to chop that down.
Looks like, yeah.
Okay. Very good.
So we might want to use it. If we just chop that down and use that to kind of barricade on that side.
We could. The other thing we could do is you chop it down, and then, I mean, I'm sure this place is bound to have cooking oil and lamp oil and whatever. Douse the tree in that stuff ahead of time, and if they come, you can set it on fire. Just over here.
Oh.
Where that's sitting, that could be a barricade right in front of the gate.
Yeah.
We don't want the fire to spread.
I was just thinking it would, if we just chopped it down and used it as a barricade, then it would be cover for them. But if it's covered in lamp oil, then it would not be good cover for them.
Yeah, if they move in, use it for cover, and then.
Okay,
All right,
so
that sounds exciting. Let's do that just because it sounds exciting.
It's cool. Yeah.
yeah,
And then Briar can use his fire graphic again.
let's
We need to get
okay.
piles of rocks on the roofs of the houses so that people who are not archers can throw them.
I like it.
Rocks, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Whatever.
yeah, because I mean, ideally, I would
throwing
like
more like dropping range, like dropping.
yeah. Big rocks to drop on people who are trying to climb would be a good idea. It gives Eric something to toss as well. I mean, we have to at some point figure out what we're going to do with the meleeers and organize them. I mean, in the chat they keep saying organize a phalanx formation. It's like, well, that really needs, I think, a lot more training and shields than we've really got. So I don't think that's really an option. But they might just have to be able to respond quickly to like a breach that's going to happen. Then we organize them in sort of a half moon circle around that breach.
Okay, that makes sense. Also, when you mentioned the whole dropping of the rocks and everything, he puzzlingly looks at you. He says, "Well, we got people that are the people who are sort of at least competent with a weapon. Do we use those to drop the rocks, or do we just get some of the other commoners, the people who are working around here, to drop the rocks?"
That's what the kids are for. No.
Kids aren't going to be smart enough.
I like the idea of that, but no.
We have other,
use the kids.
they
Drop
have
rocks.
other thrown weapons to use. Even if they do, they'll run out of ammo really quick with thrown weapons. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, no, well, every single orc you've come across so far has had javelins, so that is a concern. If they get close enough, if they haven't already thrown their javelin, then if they still have one, they probably will throw it.
I'm thinking, I mean, obviously the people who came with bows and ranged weapons, we want them on ranged weapons. The next most competent people, I don't know, like 10 of them or something, just like most competent, we might want to have them as just like the melee group ready to respond.
Okay.
Keep them in the middle, so they're ready to go wherever the trouble is.
Okay, yeah, because if you have ranged on duty, they can tell you where they're sort of needing help or where there's going to be a breach. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. And then that leaves whatever about 10 people that we could have positions in, like around the gates, or if we're doing the inside thing. But that doesn't leave us a lot of. I don't feel like we have a ton of people to do the inside thing.
We don't.
Like that to do the animal court thing. That does sort of. I mean, we can do. That's mostly the idea. Is they have like Tao and I down there, and see if we can lure them in and kill them with PCs. But
yeah, we can't have a lot of people in there because part of the plan requires that we can get the hell out once that area gets overwhelmed, which I'm going to assume is going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, and we need people who can like down an orc once around is part of the other critical thing, because if you allow more of them to start to add up in here, then it all falls apart. We need to be in the situation where one orc comes through each round and we kill that one orc each round.
Right. Pops in, and honestly, you can even it'll block the way with bodies if you do it fast enough. Interestingly enough, though, I was gonna mention something. Oh, livery.
Yeah, we want to make difficult terrain over here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, livery. You're asking the question. It says, weird that the commander of this town held on so long if he's asking suggestions from 4 travelers. This guy hasn't held on very long. It's only recently that the camp came in this close. Also, he's taken advice from these guys because apparently these guys have been killing orcs all along. So it seems like they're a little bit more competent and they know what they're talking about. So, yeah, no, he's going on faith. Yeah, he just met them, but so what are you going to do in these circumstances?
Other than these axes, what kind of weapons do they have for the melee people? Do they have shields? I'm guessing most of them don't have.
Not generally shields, no. Orcs don't usually carry them. But yeah, they do have javelins.
No, I mean our people.
Oh, your people.
Yeah.
Right.
Other than the axes that we brought, what kind of weapons, shields?
Other than the axes that you brought and the bows, there are sort of a stockpile of farm equipment. Mind you, there are machetes and cleavers and
pitchforks.
Pitchforks are a thing. And right now, the blacksmiths, the 2 dwarves, are hard at work fashioning some metal tips for some long staves and stuff like that to make some spears.
Okay, and these outer buildings, this thing, what are we looking at in terms of windows.
I hope they've all been boarded up at least.
Yeah. All the outside windows in these areas are boarded up.
Yeah, and furniture piled up against the windows and things. That would be good too.
Okay.
Just everything in every house should all be shoved against the outer wall.
Okay, that's also something to keep in mind, and
that's something that the least relevant, like the least useful people can be doing easily.
Right. Yeah, because all they've done so far is just boarded up the outsides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Using beds up against the windows, whatever up against the windows. That's good.
I'm gonna say right now this has taken approximately 10 rounds to sort of discuss all these different things, and you guys have another
1 minute.
Yeah, so you guys have another 10 rounds or so before he's going to start initiating all of this stuff. He's going to have to walk around and start talking to people.
We're nearing the end of our plans.
So I like the idea. Like you guys wanted to go out and actually scout earlier. I'm probably not helpful for that because again,
you're stealthier.
I got my armor.
Not exactly stealthy, right?
Plus, you're really strong. You can help dig pits and things.
I can help a lot more with stuff around here. Yeah.
Okay,
but
so you're going to lead your.
Thinking, though, when night falls, like when it starts getting dark, I like the idea that we would go out, take Govan and sort of go out in the direction of the camp, just not too far, and just kind of wait so that if like scouts come up or if like the leading elements of their force comes up, we could try and attack them, do some damage, and then fall back to the place. What do you think about that?
Uh-huh.
That's pretty cool.
See if we can do some damage first. And again, we don't want to be too far away or too far out, but there are sort of like wooded areas around and stuff that they're going to be sneaking up in. If we can just go out there and, because they're expecting to come up and siege this place.
Right.
They're going to form up or whatever. They're not going to be expecting to actually run into trouble from a bunch of farmers like 200, 300 feet out, right?
Yeah.
This is true. Yeah, they're not, looking to meet resistance at that point.
Might be able to kill a nice us-sized group of them, like 4 to 8, when they're not really ready.
Makes sense. Now, that said, there's not really a dense copse of trees anywhere. There are some trees, obviously, in the plains, but there's no real dense copse. There's, individual trees, and at most, you've got about, 10 to 15 trees somewhat in the same vicinity as a thing, and they're all pretty tall, so...
And the chat just reminded me, and speaking of trees, that Druid, is there anything else the Druid can do other than just healing? Are there any nature spells that she can use to, entangle people or do anything of that sort?
Yeah.
Yes, no, she definitely has a full complement. When Delman, what's his name? Kerbin. He doesn't profess to know exactly what Drina does. He doesn't understand it at all. But apparently she was, adept enough to become part of the Emerald Enclave, and he's tried to support her in that whole endeavor.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I mean, if she can cast first level spells, and she can cast Entangle, and that's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
She does. Well, if you want to go talk to her, you'll learn more about that too.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good one for Lasan, since they're nature people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trees.
And don't you have a Druid brother?
Yes.
No? There you go.
I think I do. Is it one of them? I'm trying to remember.
I just assume you have like every profession pretty much.
I don't know.
I know you got ranger brothers, and your father's a ranger.
And you're a ranger, so you have access to spells yourself.
Yes.
That overlap with the Druid spell list. So yeah,
So,
you're expert on all things leafy.
Looks like Entangle in this version is a 20-foot square, so it's still good, but it's
not bad.
It's not quite the craziness that in some previous editions.
No, but if we've got a bunch coming, 20 feet.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, they're probably going to attack from one side, and then
it's a really good spell. I'm just saying, like in some versions when it's like a 20-foot radius or bigger, that's like a gigantic area. We just have to measure our expectations. But yes, that's very good area denial, slowing down and stuff.
Bob has a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah, throw burning cow poop at them. Not even joking.
Yeah, they were talking about catapults.
That's close to my idea. I was thinking, if there aren't that many trees, there's not much tree cover out there, then we could actually set fires at a perimeter, like 100 feet or 200 feet out, or whatever makes sense. If we had a few fires out there, so that when the orcs are coming up in the night and nobody can see shit, they would be casting shadows, or they would have to mess up the fires or whatever. So there would actually be a little bit more warning.
And dried cow patties burn pretty well because they're mostly grass.
We don't
The problem-
need to use the
The
poop,
problem
but-
with that
Yeah,
is
we do
actual
have wood.
farming. I mean, I'm thinking my barn, horses, and that your chances of actually having dried poop around is not great. It's going to be fresh,
It
or
doesn't
it's going to be
literally
in a
need to
great
be
big
poop.
compost pile.
We can
There's not
actually
a lot of dry.
we can actually make fires out of wood. That's fine.
Yeah, we have multiple trees. Almost certainly
We're
they
already
have
going to
big
cut
piles
down
of
this
firewood
tree.
around,
Yeah.
and hay is a starter.
Hey,
Hay burns fast and furious.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're keeping a lot of
Too
the hay
fast,
for
too
food. But
furious.
yeah, if you want to take some of the hay from the animals and use that as tinder, that is an option.
Just to get them started. Again, I'm sure the fires aren't going to be great. They aren't going to go forever. Some of them might go out on their own because we don't actually want to have people out there tending them. But you just set a bunch of wood and light it on fire, and
Just before dark, somebody just makes a circle and bidding, or if we have a good archer around, just shoot burning arrows because it looks cool, whatever.
I think what happens is, so when we got a bunch of plans here. Have we settled on it? We settled on we're chopping down the big tree, lay it out there in a place where it looks like it's good cover it in some amount of oil so that it will burn when orcs try and take cover under it. Right? We're doing
Just
that.
a simple fire arrow will set fire to it. Yeah, at that point with all the pitch.
We want to do that. We want to do trenches in front of the gates, or if there's a shortage of time, at least in front of the gate that doesn't have a burning tree.
Okay.
What else we had? We wanted to get rocks on the houses. We're having them douse down all the flammable stuff with water. These are the key elements. Am I missing any other key elements or stuff that we want them doing?
See if
Pushing
you
all
can
the
spike
beds
the door to the animal paddock properly,
Okay.
so that it can't just be forced open. Just bury a couple of logs at 45-degree angle that push against the door so it can't be done.
Put down a couple of piles, right? Like nail them down, spikes at the bottom, and then have them backed up by your ankle supports.
Okay. And as far as the archers, all the ranged people, do you want them to focus specifically on external fire, internal, or both? Because if they're focused on one particular direction, they're more competent at it. If they have to
but how do we tell them that now? Like, how can we we don't know how many people are coming. We don't know if they're all going to hit one wall, if they're going to be circling. Like how would we make decisions right this minute?
Well, just in the idea that if an army of whatever is approaching, and some get inside, do they have the confidence? Are they supposed to have the confidence not to turn their arrows inside and just let the melee handle it? And do they keep focused outside if anything gets by?
Yeah, they've got to keep shooting people who are outside the walls
Okay,
and closing.
all right. So that's what I was after. Okay, so you want them to have a ranged perimeter, and focus on the outside. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay, so that sounds like I think that's all the stuff we wanted them to do. That and pushing up like the beds against the windows and whatever other furniture is in.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So and then for what we're doing, I guess you two and probably Govanen, we're gonna go out and try and do some daylight scouting and get actual information, and then maybe you come back and we set up an ambush after dark falls. Right. Okay. And what I'll do in the meantime, Eric's going to volunteer some help at the forge. He's not gonna work on any weapons or something, but he feels that if these guys are gonna melee, shields are really good. I like shields.
Okay.
So I'm gonna see if I can put together some wooden shields. Basically, get like if they have just like metal bands, try and use that to just like you get a bunch of planks, you attach them together as best you can, then
actually
you can get metal bands and try and turn them into something it'll hold up under for a couple hits.
That's very interesting because you have a background in blacksmithing, so you're honestly you can help dig holes and stuff like that too. But your best area is probably to if I was to make a suggestion would be to help the other two dwarves get through their orders. I mean, they've got a lot of spears that they're making, and if you want to make shields with the scrap metal that they have lying around, helping them with the forge would be super good.
Yeah, I don't help with the weapons so much, and I know people don't have a lot of armor, but I think shields is something that we could make that would actually significantly help them.
Okay. So what would you rather focus on, digging or blacksmithing?
I'm going to see how many shields I can crank out.
Okay, we're going to go for that.
11.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Three or four guys have shields, and then if they lose their shields, well, somebody else can pick up those shields. Like shield Shields increase survivability. You notice I don't carry a weapon. I do carry a shield. Shields are good.
Shields are good. Yeah. Okay, so that's cool. Anything else? Oh, Govanen looks at you, Lasan, and asks you if you would require his help with the scouting, or would you rather him stay back and help teach some of his knowledge to the bowmen, if he can train them at all, anything, just some interesting elf ranger knowledge. Maybe it could help him.
Interesting.
Or do you think you need his help out there? Because he's looking at you concerned.
I'm thinking you would probably need your help in case we come across one of these scouting parties. I'm not sure how much people can learn about archery.
Okay.
If they already know how to use a bow, I'm not sure how much better they're going to get between now and nightfall anyway, right? I don't know. But we need to talk to the Druid lady. I had started that a minute ago.
Yep.
What information, like what can she tell us she can do?
Right. Okay. So you guys are sort of done talking with Kerbin then? We're just gonna wrap that up, and he's gonna go and do all the things you had mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's good. Because you had I was gonna say like another couple rounds there if you wanted to talk to him, but if that's done, he will go and make things happen. And I believe it's Lasan. Are you going alone, or are you having company come with you to talk to Drina, the druid?
Oh, I think Lasan can do it on her own, unless her brother maybe, because he's also a rangery.
Interested, yeah.
I think Govanen would actually join you because he's also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop out the walls. I'm not gonna go too far, but I am gonna start like sort of crawling my way towards the orcish camp in max stealth to try to spot things from a distance. I'm definitely not looking to engage. Unless I literally find one orc who I can 100% sneak up on. Okay. This is going to be like maximum low risk, high stealth.
Okay.
I need to spot the camp and see if there's any movement or preparation. I mean, if I see them all like, sharpening their blades and oiling down their leathers or whatever, then it's like, okay.
Okay. All right. So you're not going very far out, you say?
Well, I'll crawl as much as I can.
Okay. So just maximum stealth. Okay, so it's going to be slow going then. I'm thinking, yeah.
Now stealth is like half speed.
Okay.
I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll use my luck to reroll.
Yeah.
There we go. 22.
All right, that's plenty. That's effective. All right, so you can do that while Lasan and Govanen are going to talk to Drina. And actually, as you pass by, you went out the northwest gate, right? Just to kind of put a little flavor on this.
I'm assuming, because the camp is towards the west? Northwest or whatever? Where's the orc camp?
No, it's back towards the east.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, I guess I'll go up through the northwest gate and then go around, yeah.
Toward the east?
Yeah.
So the orcs that we fought actually came around this farm to do what they were doing? So it's out the other side? Like we came in from over here chasing orcs, and the orc camp is over here?
No, you came in from over here. You came in from basically from...
Well, it was from the east.
From the south. South and east. More south than east.
Well, no, we were traveling northeast, you said.
Yeah.
I thought
so
we
must have come in from the southwest.
We came from here to
well, that's
here,
what I mean.
right?
Yeah, sorry. I meant southwest.
Okay.
So over here, yeah.
And then the orc camp is what? Over like this way? Or this way?
Yeah. Basically that way.
Okay. So the orcs we were tracking, or would have been tracking if we hadn't just come straight here. They actually came around. I'm pointing because that's helpful. So had actually kind of come around the farm.
Yeah.
Like
well, they took a wide berth, obviously.
Okay. They had actually come around like that.
That's
right.
Why I was saying when you guys were tracking them, they were going more east than north. At that particular time, they were still going northeast, but they were going more east than north because they were going further out that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so anyway, you don't go out the way that Jerkass is facing, so that's different. So you're not going to get that bit of dialogue. Interesting. Okay, so there's a lot going on. You guys are super helpful. Right now, you got Eric going to help with Forge, perhaps to help with the protection of some of the melee fighters who happen to be engaged in this sort of thing. We've got Tao sneaking out.
I'm going to let them handle the spears and stuff. They're already working on it. Although, if I have any relevant tips, I'll share them if I can do so without insulting people. But if they know what they're doing, then I'll just leave them alone. Yeah, they're dwarves. Yeah.
Again, actually,
If I have any relevant tips that
Yeah.
I see like they're not doing something, then I'd let them know. But otherwise, I'm gonna
Okay.
let them go. I'm not gonna-
I just figure one of the things I might be best like done for is when I'm out there, and again that slow crawl. If I have to go like half the afternoon, sort of belly crawling over there, to be a good hiding place so I can watch the camp. I like stay there for like a few hours and watch,
Okay.
so that we know the second that they're starting to get ready,
Okay.
so that we know when they're moving out. So I will do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Once-
Very good.
Awesome.
Once you're camped down, once you're not moving,
Yeah,
then you should be incredibly hard to spot.
yeah.
Yeah. And you rolled a 22, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So one thing I'm just gonna roll is that,
Skulking.
and the other thing I'm gonna roll is this. Okay. So,
Don't worry about that skulking
Yeah,
thing.
Bob
We're gonna
with
have to
Hattie
fight
suggested
skulking at some
if
point.
we can construct slings for anyone, that would also be helpful. Slings are pretty powerful and they're pretty easy to make.
if
but-
you guys have any amount of like construction, if you can make a trap, anybody has like trap making, then you can make slings, I would say. Or
well, I mean,
because
there's not
they-
really a skill for that, but
well, I was just thinking, just making traps. If you can make a trap, then I say you can make slings. But
What would survival the sling?
yeah, it would be
make?
like a
I have no
yeah,
idea.
but no, you would have like a trap maker's kit, is what I'm thinking. Like or
Oh, I got nothing like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The thing
What
is
would you
that they
make-
could probably fashion something similar, but you guys wouldn't be able to help with it. Which we're just gonna say that they're already working on something like that, but it's not gonna give you any bonuses or demerits.
I'm just thinking, like what would you need supplies? What would you make it with? You're right. You're gonna need
Bits of leather and rope. Really.
and leather already.
Yeah. Slings are just simple.
And, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty simple. Which they have bits of leather and they do have rope. I mean, that's really common on the ranch there.
Well, we can mention that.
Yeah, good. I'm just trying to think. Sorry. Right. What was I doing? I was rolling. Okay. So, Tao. Before we get into the conversation with Drina, Tao.
Okay.
What you do see and it's closer than you like. Are a couple of warg riders. They do come galloping over one of the other, sort of like a mild hillside, if you will, and they are moving along up north into the west, and sort of like past you, keeping a wide berth from the Delman Ranch itself.
so they've left the camp. 2 warg riders. They've left the camp and they're going northwest.
Yeah, and they're moving fast, but they don't catch sight of you.
I wonder if there's another group of orcs up there, or if they're just going off to do something else.
There's just the
Interesting.
2 of them.
You could try. Well, it's just the 2 of them. It's actually 4 individuals in total, though, with those wargs.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm not engaging them.
But
Yeah.
just so you know, and you could decide. I don't know if you want to move further towards the camp to see what's going on there, because you're not quite close enough yet, or you can see
Yeah.
where they're going, just to give you
I
an option.
think my priority. It's tough. I think I'll still prioritize getting a view on the camp.
Okay, all right. So now with Drina, Drina she's not an elf, right? She's human. She sees 2 elves approach, and she's got this, because she's part of the Emerald Enclave, and Emerald Enclave is primarily elven. So she's all of a sudden you can see like sort of like a brightness on her face, like like she was gloom doom, and all of a sudden, whoa, elves. So she seems to be happy about this.
+1 to morale.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
But right, she doesn't even say the first words. In fact, she seems like she's trying to say something, or she's doubting whether or not she should say anything. She's just kind of like, mouth moving, not really talking.
Govanen is part of the Emerald Enclave.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and he will say, well, they have I don't know if they have an actual greeting. I don't know specifically,
They
but
just think green sleeves.
there you go.
It was secret handshake.
Yeah. Or he just gives her a flower. No, I don't know. But specifically, he does introduce himself, and he says that he heard that she was part of the Emerald Enclave as well, and he has a request. And
He does.
yeah, which
Bro.
is interesting because you wouldn't normally get this if it wasn't for the fact that you asked Govanen to come with you for this. So Govanen is here, so Govanen gets to say this. Specifically, he's asking her if she wouldn't mind using her abilities there to speak to the birds and ask for the elves' help.
So like a messenger.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she's like, and this is foreign for her because she's part of the Emerald Enclave, but she's not Elven, right? And she doesn't have any actual connections there, no ties specifically to the Elvish, but Govanen does.
Yes.
So, you know,
Yay,
having the
backstory.
messenger,
Woohoo.
having the messenger go through and Govanen, or the messenger saying Govanen's name, and the location and everything could have some interesting,
This is awesome.
positivity to what is going to be happening soon. So you guys automatically, just for having Govanen here, you automatically get a nice bonus.
Cool.
Okay.
See,
Right.
those 4 weeks we spent creating our backstories? It's good.
Works out nice. Works out nice.
Go
Right.
family.
And Drina does divulges to the sun and Govanen. And I'm going to say this out loud so that, you know, Tao and, of course, Eric, you guys will be, you know, conscious of this at some point anyway. The abilities that Drina can do, right? Tangle is definitely something that Drina does. Tangle is a thing. Drina also is able to cast Long Strider. Okay. Speak with animals is also a thing, which is what Govanen is taking advantage of at the moment.
Okay.
And Thunder Wave is another one that she can do.
I know what that is.
Animal Messenger. Oh, sorry, yeah, Speak with Animals. Animal Messenger is what she's using right now. Sorry, not Speak with Animals.
What about cure wounds?
Yeah.
Or healing word or anything like that?
No. She doesn't have that. She can produce flame and that sort of thing, but she can't. She's not a healer.
Okay.
But she can cast Barkskin. So she can, you know, but Barkskin is only going to help for people who don't really.
Yeah.
It's going to help for commoners, really.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, might come in handy. But specifically, and then she's, of course, she you know, you see right now she's carrying a stave, which she sort of seems to be wielding with some amount of adeptness, but that's it. Now, while she doesn't have healing, I should say she does say that she is skilled in medicine, right? So she if there's healing kits, which there are some healing kits that have been brought into the Delman Ranch, she does have some healing kits. In fact, I should probably. How many healing kits do I have?
How many? I know what I have. How many do they have? So we know what we're.
Okay, there are 2 healing kits in the town.
2?
Yeah. 2 healing
Just-
kits.
Healing
Well,
kits usually have 10 uses.
Yeah, so there's like 20 total uses.
Oh, then I have way more. You know what I've been doing is
If you've been
okay.
burning one-
Every time I use one, I take off a healing kit.
No.
So
Yeah.
No.
I have 20. I have 20, and yes, I have 20 then.
You
You
call
may have to have to take some money back and have fewer healing kits because 20 healing kits would be a massive bulk.
I thought they came in like clumsy.
If you have 2 healing
10.
kits, that's 20 uses.
Okay, that's what it is then. Okay.
Yeah,
I've got
one
20.
healing kit gives you 10 uses.
Okay, I've
Yeah.
got. That's what it is then. Okay.
Well, if you have that many healing kits, then you guys, you know what? Just, I don't know, give it one to everybody. Who knows? I mean, they might be able to use it. You have a lot of healing kits. That's insane.
I don't think they do much if you don't have the feat.
But if I use them, they
Well, there's
work
that, yeah.
a lot better. So.
Yeah. Well, between you and Drina, then you two are basically the doctors.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Because you get one, and they're 10.
You
All
would
right.
each
So
be
I
able to
actually.
get- you would each be able to do each person once.
And that's something else that's interesting, though. You could potentially, Lisan, instead of, you know, adding your abilities to attack, you could be adding your abilities to helping heal people. You're running around the battlefield healing people. So Drina's pretty much already saying right now that that's what she's doing. She's going to focus, unless of course you guys want her to focus on attacking for whatever reason. She is specifically thinking about just being able to be like triage. She's going through and trying to heal people.
Well, so she has the healing feat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lisan should definitely shoot people until someone gets hurt, right? Because hopefully the engagement starts out ranged where our people are safe behind the walls and not getting hurt.
Especially with your double attack thing.
Yes.
And then you have to decide afterwards. But yeah, you're especially good at fighting larger numbers.
Yeah.
But when people start dropping, I figure I would be healing. Yeah.
Okay.
at some point.
Because in battle, just so you know what you're saying, in battle you're helping to attack, right? You're going to be helping to
Definitely
attack.
to start. Yeah, absolutely.
And if at all, like if you go from attacking, that's you get a bonus to that. In terms of like the next rolls and everything, you get a bonus for that. And if you use your healing to heal the NPCs, you keep that bonus. But if you leave the wall and go help either Tao or Eric or anybody, then you will also get a demerit. Just so you know how that works. Because anything that you do for the people, you get a merit. Anything you do for your own party is a demerit, just to kind of like simplify it. So, yeah. So that's how that works. It's either for the greater good or for your small group. Anything you do for your small group.
That's like if it's a change of plans. I mean, if you happen to be standing near us.
Yeah. If you're already standing.
Well, if they're standing next to me, we're all shooting at the off the top of the thing. I would think that just giving a quick heal would be.
That's not a change of plans. Then it's the same as
No. But if you have to leave and do certain things other than helping the NPCs in any one way, helping the farm.
If you were at the wall over by the east gate, and then you found out we were in trouble over here with the trap, and then you changed over to come to help. That's when you would.
And maybe that's still what you want to do. I mean, having a demerit out of all the merits that you guys have already gotten might not be a problem, but.
Well, it depends what condition these guys are in. We need them standing to fight too.
There is that. Yeah. So
I mean, keeping those two standing helps this farm, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So it's just a thing. Keep that in mind. Right. So now, Tal, you're still edging forward. I mean, nobody has seen you yet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So at this particular point, it's been because this is past Drina's bit. It's gonna have been a couple hours at least as you're moving. It takes you a while to move out that far, half speed and all that. You are now within sight of the camp. You have enough of an eyesight to see or to gather enough knowledge of what's going on. And what you see is indeed a line of warg riders. There's 8 of them, and they're like still in a line, and just behind them there is some Orcish being spoken, and you don't know what it is, but it almost seems like the Orcish is being spoken by this guy you've seen before in your vision, this massive orc, and he's pointing towards where you come from. He's pointing back behind you, which is Delman Ranch, and he's just talking, and he's sort of like just getting this. It almost seems like he's
daytime,
ramping
so I wasn't
it up.
expecting.
At
this point.
Yeah, no,
because they're not going to be giving a speech for the next 3 hours. I don't think that's the Orcish way.
No, but he is talking right now, and it's still daylight. Yes, you're right, but he is definitely giving some sort of speech.
So how
we are going to crush the farmers. It is going to be tremendous.
Yeah. Also,
the invasion will be huge.
There is a lot of exactly. But there is also a lot of movement in the camp behind too. Like people or the orcs are seemingly, strapping and getting ready for
I want to count.
Some sort of battle.
Okay, we have a fight.
I want to count.
You want to count a full count? Okay. If you actually to get a good proper count, give me another stealth roll. And not that you're going to get attacked or anything. I just want to know how long you can stay there to see if you can get an accurate count.
Oh, okay. Because then I'm going to have to back up and go back to the camp.
Exactly. So it's a probability thing. Okay.
17.
So all right. So
17 orcs. All right. Good.
So you've got a 75% count really. So what I'm going to do is the actual number. Well, actually, I said it out loud. Now you're going to know the actual number.
Well, I was going to say, no, what you can do is give me a range, right?
Oh, a range. All right. So
let's say they're supposed to be 50, and then add
calculator.
Subtract it by 10, and then roll a d20, and then add that much, or something like that. So I mean, I won't know where it'll end up. I'll know it's this within 10 in some direction or something like that. Maybe I'm spot on. Okay. Maybe I'm off by 10 or whatever the range is going to be.
Right.
And I won't know in what direction.
Okay. So using the calculator in this camp, there are between 37 and 50.
And as far as I can tell, there's just the 8 warg riders currently.
Yeah, the 8. There's 8, and that's including the 8 warg riders.
It's including.
Yeah. That's not
That's
including the
pretty
people
tough,
who rolled
'cause
off.
the orcs
though,
are sitting at
however.
what do we figure? They're at like what, 20-ish hit points?
Yeah,
a lot
well,
of hit points
yeah,
for
they
farm
drop
service.
pretty fast. The orcs have been. The regular
fast
orcs.
enough.
If they have 2 eyes, they don't seem to last as long.
Yeah. I don't know. That one guy who I brought him down to 1 eye, he didn't survive at all. So I thought I was doing him a favor.
Well, there's that too. Well, you gave him no sight instead of having only 1-dimensional sight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Last Revenant, thank you as well for that donation. You're an
Yes,
amazing
thank
person.
you.
Right, so that's about as many as you count before you are probably. It's a good idea to head back now.
All right, so I do that.
Okay.
And when I get back, I let them know about my approximate count and that it definitely looks like we're going to be attacked. I suspect as the sun sets is probably my guess, but again,
And
that's
we
just a
had
guess.
2 warg riders heading off in another direction in a
Yeah.
hurry.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there might be another group. We have to be ready for another flank. So I'm assuming the bulk of the attack will come from the east, but we really have to keep a sharp eye out to the northwest, perhaps, because there might be a flank coming in there. And obviously, we have a couple of people keeping eyeballs in every direction. But
Okay. All right. Well, specifically, yeah. No, Kerbin. When you come back, Kerbin first of all sees you, and he's like completely shocked. I mean, you're literally the first person who's ever come back. So that's amazing to him. And then you're giving him the news. The news he will use. He's going to sort of basically what it seems like what's going to happen, unless of course you guys want to give him other orders. He is going to ask the range, the archers and everything, and the lookouts and everybody for that evening to sort of like keep more of an outlook, obviously on this side, and then of course up this way, like to the north a bit more.
Yeah.
Just in the off chance, and everybody's going to be kind of looking that way, and it's going to be more fortifications that way instead of obviously down here, because your accounts tell more of them coming from the east and from the north. Okay, so there's no change of that. Okay, all right. So that's about it. There's not much else for that.
okay, I'm gonna take my orb, and I'm gonna stick it. So first of all, this guy on the ridge should definitely not be there because he's just gonna get murdified. He's gonna be inside the camp, right, or on the wall, or on a roof.
Yeah. Right now he's just outside as a greeter to anybody who comes in from that direction.
Okay.
But yeah, no. At nightfall, he will definitely be on the roof here.
So I'm gonna take my orb and I'm gonna place it on the roof right in front of the chimney over here.
Okay.
And then I'll go and help with the rest of the preparations. And I'm thinking I'll probably end up being in the kill box to start off with, because I can like use my psionic powers to presumably, hopefully, one-shot some orcs as they come through the door before I run out of psi points, and then I'll have to run away.
Okay, makes sense. Also, there's one little detail I forgot to mention. So you would notice, you would have seen this. The warg riders, the 8 of them that you saw, each and every one of them was also carrying a torch, a burning torch, during daylight hours.
They were.
Okay.
Of course they were.
Well, those torches only last what, like 30 minutes or something. So
Yeah. So yeah, actually, how long did it take? It took you about 2 hours to get out, which means it took you about.
I'm expecting to go a lot faster on the way back.
On the way back? Okay, so we're going to say half that time, so it'll be an hour to get back.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, like, maybe after I'm 15 minutes away from the camp, then I might just get up and run back if it feels safe. But
yeah, no, it's totally
an hour,
safe at that distance.
whatever.
You're fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, roughly an hour. Right, so by the time you're actually getting back to camp, there's a lot of smoke on the horizon.
What horizon?
There's a lot of smoke just on the plains, if you will, back towards the way of the encampment. And
The orcs?
Yeah.
Like behind me?
yeah. Also, you notice, and actually everybody else notices at this particular point, because nobody's really daft. The wind is also blowing from the encampment. Right?
So they set fire to like the dry grass.
They're
and it's
upwind.
just-
They're upwind, and they have set fire to, and there's a lot of smoke, and it seems to be boiling your way.
Okay, well then, really quickly, we need to get everyone to dig just a shallow trench to the east of their little defensible area here.
Get rid of the
It's like
grass.
a fire
Yeah.
ditch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get some pickaxes and just turn up the dirt.
It's gotta be
just a couple of feet wide, something like that. And
really quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just right along this area where you just came in. We just got you just got to get rid of whatever vegetation's there, fast and furious, as
That's
wide
what
as
the
we
warg
can.
riders were doing.
Okay.
Jeez.
So
Wah!
this is going to be fun. I don't think we're going to get through the entirety of this event.
I don't even.
Today-
We're barely going to get started. I've got to
Unfortunately.
get here in 15, 20 minutes tops. So.
Yeah. So, but we're gonna get as far as we can.
Wah!
All right. So, first things first. Out of just down the hillside, as soon as Tal, you get back, and you didn't realize that they're going to be moving this fast, but there is no riders, mind you, just wargs without riders, and they are coming forth from the encampment side, and they move out and fan out, and they're sort of like circling around Delman Ranch, and they're just kind of running. They're not being stable. They're not still targets. Now people can start.
Yeah, well, we're gonna try to kill them anyway.
Yep.
You
You're gonna
try.
use ammo. Okay. All right.
What?
Well, no, we can shoot them.
Okay. So just
Right?
you guys.
I don't trust. Yeah, if you're
okay.
describing these as being quite hard targets,
Yeah.
we should do that. Hell, we could even run out and engage them potentially. I don't know how dangerous wargs are, but I definitely want them down if they're separated from the main pack.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and there's just sort of like circling around, and nobody has
So we.
any strategic background, right? No, they don't have any war background. You haven't been in any actual full-on combat.
Not like this.
No. Okay. Nobody.
You had my
okay.
dad and I fighting 5 years ago, the last time the orcs came through, but I don't remember this sort of thing at all being
Well,
mentioned.
Honestly, you know what? No, Govanen's here. Govanen is here. Govanen would know, because Govanen has fought alongside a battalion of elves before. As a ranger, yes, he's mostly a ranger, but he has fought with elves. And this is sort of a tactic that seems meant for one thing, and that is to
Trying to cause panic.
that it does that automatically, but specifically it's meant to draw attack. Right, so anybody who's like, they're just using the wolves to run
Using
around,
up any-
just using
Yeah.
up ammo, right? They know you've got
Yeah.
arrows, right? They just want you to shoot them,
Yes.
Yeah.
to get rid of stuff. If you're actually going to fall for that,
Well,
But
are
I-
they within 120 feet?
yeah, easily.
Then I try to kill one with my brain. I have infinite ammo with my brain. It only does a D8, but you have to do an int save.
An int save?
Yeah, so I can spam this every round.
Every round, so 5 psychic damage, and that's an int save. That shouldn't be that easy for them to pass. Yeah, no, because they've got a minus. All right. So it's
Now,
DC 13?
Nice.
Yeah.
I have to bring
okay.
something up here. I got to bring something up here before we go too far because your wargs kind of threw a thing in it. We had sent farmers out along here to make a fire break of some sort. And now we have wargs circling them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like-
have we completed the fire break?
Yeah, the fire break
Did
was
we get to
done.
actually dig?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's
Okay,
what
this
I.
is after the
Because
fire.
I heard it just we sent them, then there were wargs, and I thought, so
Yeah.
the wargs are just out here eating our farmers.
Yeah, no, I
Oh,
skipped
yay.
ahead. Is what
Oh,
I did.
okay,
Yeah.
thank
So
you.
time is
All right.
passing at a little bit of
Wah!
a harried pace right now. So that's gonna be that.
Okay.
That's gonna be that. And there's the 8 of them. There's 8 of these guys. So there's 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna put one more over here. And now they're not this close, mind you. I'm just putting them in view, and they're not making any advancement. Look at that, $10 coming in from Lowercase Row. Thank you very much for your continued
Thank you.
support. Row is awesome. Right. So how many do I have?
Did the 5 damage drop one? Or they have more hit points than that, don't they?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's one more. All right. What was that? Sorry.
Did the 5 damage drop one, or they have more hit points than that?
No. The 5 damage did. Well, it hurt. Why is this
Yeah.
thing jumping around like that? Stop it. And I'm just gonna say you picked one in random. So I'm gonna say this one down here. If you can see the ping. That one there.
Okay. Oh yes.
So you know which one it is. And I'm not going to move them around in a circle. If you want to continuously fire at the same one every time, that's totally fine. So anyway, that does -5. Okay. No, it still seems to be rather healthy. running around. But not coming any closer to the town. They're just sort of like running around in a circle. And that is that. You're not asking for, and Eric's not doing it. I say Eric, not Eric, but what's this guy's name? Erned Stoutblade. That was the gentleman who welcomed you, the guy with the crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
He is taking aim. If anybody wants to stop him, you can.
But let him shoot once.
Okay, then he will.
See how accurate it is. If he sucks, we'll be like, don't waste your shots.
There you go.
At least when the orcs, if they're streaming in as a big group, a missed shot could still hit another orc accidentally. So
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
You know what? It's just the wargs out there. There's gonna be lots of like cover around.
Oh, baby doll. Almost time.
His shot will miss, unfortunately.
all right, then we tell him to hold off.
Hold your fire.
We'll see if the orcs come. We'll see them like a mile away. So
Literally a couple, right? On the plains? We're on a hill?
Right, but the smoke is moving your way, so it's going to be a little bit weird. They might be moving with the smoke.
Probably, but even then, I'll watch that. They're not going to come up. But I think we'll see what they do. I'm just going to concentrate for a moment, sort of focus my resolve. And I'm going to just hop down and sort of walk out 30 feet and see if they react.
if the wargs
I've got my shield there.
Okay. Well, the wargs are around 120 feet out. Yeah, and they easily take notice of you. But no, they're not breaking their encirclement. They're not coming at you.
I'm bringing one of the throwing rocks with me.
Interesting. Okay.
Your bespoke, locally crafted rock.
Yeah. All right. I'll move out another 30 feet, so I'm out to 60 feet. I'm halfway out to them, or?
Right, you're halfway out to where they're sort of circling around. Yep.
I'm keeping careful watch of them. I'm not oblivious to them, obviously.
Yeah. Back behind you, you hear a shout coming from Erned. And he's just like, "What are you doing?" And he's yelling at you.
I just want to see how tough they are.
Have I killed any of them?
Basically, you barely hear on the wind because you're upwind from him. You just hear something that sounds more like crazy. Just you can sort of guess he meant crazy.
Have I killed any of them with my brain yet?
Just been doing it over and over
again. And you're doing it on the same one. So I'm gonna say, how many rounds would that be? It'd be 1 round for you and Ern to fire, and he hasn't fired again. And it's probably your speed is 30. You've moved out 30 twice, so that's 3 rounds total. So I'm gonna say that's 5 every turn. So that's another 10.
Well, I mean it's a D8, but the average with that would be 4.5 or 5 rounded up if we're doing the hit point thing.
Well, that's fine. Yeah. And so no, it's still up. And in fact, that one though does start to break away. It's moving out. It's moving away from the battle.
Okay.
You have scared one away. But there's 7 more.
And I mean, I'm not going to chase it or anything like that. The orcs probably don't have that much healing available, if any. So that might still mean just 1 less warg for the fight, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Okay. So that's that. Do you want to continue doing that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do this every round up until the smoke ends up enveloping you guys, which will happen pretty soon. The thing is that every single one of these wargs...
If the smoke's within 100 feet, I am not sticking around.
Yeah.
If it's getting up anywhere near that close, I'm moving back in.
You said they have a negative to their int save? Is it -1, -2?
It's 1 -1, yeah.
-1. So they need to roll a 14 or higher. So they've got, roughly about I'll hit them about 70% of the time for, on average, about 5. So you can average it out to something like what, about 3 or 4 damage around. That I'm in a general way. If you don't want to roll all the saves,
yeah,
or
I'm thinking
maybe you want to you can do the save every turn, and that's fine. And roll the d8 for the damage.
Yeah, no, that takes too much time. I'm just gonna math it. So if it's roughly 3 damage per round, and it damage per round, it's gonna take another 10 rounds before that can happen. There's gonna be. All right, I'm gonna say that with all of your gusto and nobody else firing, nobody else making shots at these guys, that you are going to turn the attention of another couple. There's a couple of them. Another couple of them are breaking off.
Okay, so there are fewer of them. Like there are 5 left now.
There's 5 left now.
Just looking around.
Yeah.
And how far away is the smoke roughly?
The smoke is roughly at this particular point about 300 feet from you. It's moving in with the wind, so it's moving fast.
All right, I'm going to move up another 30 feet towards the distance that they're circling out there. So I'm like now 90 feet from the wall, 30 feet from roughly where they're circling. I mean, they're not like they're not getting out there like protractor and like.
Right. Okay. So you're basically 30 feet from one.
They're running by within 30 feet of me as they pass by.
Okay. You know what? At this particular point, because again, their intelligence, they're smart, right? These guys are actually smart. They can understand language. These guys.
I didn't want to get jumped by like 8.
They're like you.
Yeah, they're like Bella.
5 of them are not going to kill me in 1 round. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. All right.
They're evil Bellas.
Okay, it rolled. Okay. That one, the one nearest to you, which I'm just gonna drag one nearest to you, where he's gonna be healthy. One, he's gonna put this one. One nearest to you does break off and come at you.
Okay.
We're streaming soon.
You're too close. I mean, you're too far away from any other help, and it just seems like it's a good idea.
I'm trying to be too close. Hey, I have singled myself out.
Yeah, you have. And here's the thing about these guys: they like to pile on. So if one comes, right. So there is go ahead and roll initiative. This is going to be an initiative between you two right now.
Sure.
That's cool.
Bella. All right, so we're going to do that.
Our stream's starting soon. Cookie time is soon. Not quite yet.
Okay, so there's only a +1, so we're going to give him...
Oh, pretty soon.
A turn.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're probably going to go before.
Oh,
wait.
Okay,
yeah, no, you're still going before them.
I'm not sure who else is
only gets
up here.
+1. So there's that.
We come together, I get to hit him first, is what happens. Okay.
Yeah.
That works for me. So I will. Yeah, so I'm gonna just bash him with the rock and melee then. That is a terrible roll.
Yeah. I'm trying to make sure I get this correct. I'm gonna move this up a bit because there's always like clips on top of your screen, doesn't it? It does a little bit. Their AC is that, and you hit AC.
I only hit 10 unless I have crazy bonuses.
Right. Yeah. No. You do miss with the rock. It's sort of like dodges quick with its agility to one side, and yeah, it seems like Bells is rooting for the wargs.
Don't root for the wargs.
So because this is like a real one-on-one fight, could I actually
get an
like
initiative?
The saving throw here? Because it might matter. I did actually just roll. I got a 7.
Yeah. Okay. So
even with my advantage, I got a 7 both times.
Right. Okay. So between the two of you, I will actually, because you have the initiative, I want to say that you get to go before the warg as well.
Okay, and seeing my bud here go out on his own, I got up on the roof here. Can I take a shot if things look like they're going bad here?
Yeah, if you want.
Do I roll initiative or just take a turn?
Roll initiative.
Okay.
This is definitely going to be a bit of a battle.
I have to select me to roll initiative.
I think it's probably best if I don't actually wander outside the walls. I could do a lot more damage, but I would receive a lot more damage and potentially get in a lot of trouble.
Not when we want to get wounded.
So I thought spear him. It's going to be 7 damage unless he makes a saving throw.
7 damage?
Yeah.
Oh, it has to make the saving throw. Okay, here we go. Bye-bye.
Catch.
That one does make it saving throw.
Ooh.
So that one doesn't do any damage, right? It's a save or negate.
Yep.
Save negates.
Yeah, it's a cantrip, so
okay. Save negates. All right.
Well, Lisan reacts much quicker.
Yep. The sun has actually already fired the shot, but it's farther enough away the arrow hasn't got there yet, basically.
Oh.
That's what's going on. All right, so the arrow's in flight.
There's just the one dog? Nobody else has come over?
At the moment. There's others out there. There's 4 others.
Or will probably come unless we slaughter it.
Off.
That is going to hit the earth next to it. Yeah.
You attack the earth.
You attack the earth.
Again.
The earth is angry. The earth swallows you up. You die.
Bloody hell.
All right. Game over. Roll a new character. No.
It finally gets to attack me.
He does. All right. This is exciting. All right. So there we go. Can I just...
Yes, Sencha, that's about it. Is it now? The camera's on.
Bring that up. There we go. And what is it? Just checking to make sure. Okay, plus that to do that. And then, okay, that. So that's that. And then that. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, no, not the earth.
He hits AC 19.
That hits.
That hits.
Yep.
He does 10 points of damage.
10? Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty hard.
And
So
you have a
exactly takes out my 7 temporary hit points.
DC 13 strength saving throw, or be knocked
Oh,
prone.
they do the wolf trip attack thing.
I see.
Mm.
Oh, there I got the roll.
Okay, you definitely passed that. It seems like it's trying to drag you down, but you're just like, oh, you're just too much of a pillar for it to
Yeah.
move. All right.
If I'd rolled that to hit, it might have been dead. But,
Yeah.
But we'll take saving is okay.
So that's
So
that,
now we gotta
that.
see how the rest of them react.
Right, because now there's going to be an extra one because they're running in a line. So there's going to be another one
Mm-hmm.
joining the fray. There it is. And I'm going to go ahead and roll his initiative and see what he's going to be. Although it'll only show up at the end of the next round. So that was that round. So right now, Lasan, you can go ahead and make your attack.
Okay, then I'm going to hit them both.
Yeah,
With
they're
luck.
next to each other.
With any luck at all, I'll hit them both and not the earth. Yes!
Looks like you hit them both.
Looks like it.
That's the first
Yeah, you
one.
totally
and that
hit-
goes to the second.
Okay, so the first one takes 6 and the
Is
second
that
one takes
6?
10.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Nice.
the first one takes 6. And the next one takes 10. Right, those 2 arrows hit their mark. And as it takes some damage, it's still going to continue its assault because it got a high initiative. It got right in on this. And that's you gone. Before Tau, it will go. And we're going to go ahead and do that. That is going to hit.
Nope.
And that is only 4. 7 points of damage.
Okay, so I actually take 4.
Okay, and you have to make your DC strength check.
Yeah.
Okay, you pass.
Yeah. Strength is one of my good saves. I have like +6 on it, so
All right, Tau.
pretty good chance.
I'm wondering, like, is it such... Eric, is the situation getting desperate enough? Do you need me to jump down there?
No.
Inflict more real damage? Okay, then I will just try to kill the most injured one with my brain.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
All right, save or take 5.
Okay.
At least they still have a 70% chance to hit.
All right, that will he will take damage, and you're hitting the weakest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's the weakest one. That's that would be this one. Okay. Very good.
Ah, the weakest form. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Is it still alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
As the one that took 10 has now taken 15 and is still alive.
Yep.
The wargs are tough. Okay.
And it's now
Alright.
Eric's turn.
All right. If they're that tough, then I'm actually gonna start to disengage.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I pull back 30 feet, so I'm now 60 feet from the wall.
60 feet from the wall. All right.
I have a feeling the wargs actually might be tougher than the orcs themselves,
That appears to be the case.
especially with the trip.
All right.
Yeah.
So there's no attack of opportunity as you disengage. You're moving away.
Yeah.
And whose turn is it now? It's this guy's turn. Okay. Is that
Where are you
Eric?
moving away? Are you gonna be able to climb the wall?
What's that?
I'm sure I
sorry?
can climb.
Oh.
I'm sure I can climb them all. That's not a big problem. I'm just trying to decide if this is important enough to spend a spell on getting away faster.
Mhm. Well, the one that has been the most hurt, does typically it's now running away,
Mhm.
and that's that one. And then it's back to the top of the order where Lasan and the next warg goes.
Yep.
So you go ahead and make your shot, Lasan, if you want. I'm giving you the advantage, really.
Yes.
Okay, that will
Nice.
hit. And
Unfortunately, you'll only be able to hit one.
Are they?
yeah, they're too
They're
far
not within
apart.
5 feet.
Oh, okay. What's our scale?
They're not really on the scale because we're off the map.
Yeah,
That's
you're
the
kind of
problem.
off the map right now. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I
I'm
got one.
60 feet out from the gates in theory.
Got one.
But yeah, I believe your ability is you can only double shot when there's people adjacent to each other.
They've got to be kind of close. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Okay, and I'm trying to keep up with how many rounds this has been. It's been 3 rounds, I think. This is the 3rd round. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so you do hit. The first one is going to do 10 points of piercing. And that's on the one that you hit before. Oh, wait, no, that's the one.
It's the one that she hit for less. The one she hit for 6, I guess, because the one
Yeah.
that she hit for 10 is run away now.
Yeah, it's just run away. So that's going to be 10 damage there. Okay. Very good. And it is now... Whose turn? Actually, let's send that one away first. And you're the one before. Right, I already got rid of it. Right. Okay. Anyway, so that's okay. I did it I did it backwards, but the outcome is just the same. That one is not fighting anymore either. It is now running away.
Okay.
And that means that this one has an initiative. I didn't roll that initiative. That initiative is actually pretty good. How do I do this? I turn. Again. Okay.
Or from Firefly.
Thing is, though, even though it's in, I have to think about this. You know what? Does it actually chase? On an even, it does. On an odd, it doesn't. On an even, it does. Okay. It's weird because it doesn't normally want to get any closer to the walls. But this one is sort of disobeying its orders. So anyway, it's going to run at you. And I'm putting it on this side of you because it's technically coming from that side.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. That is going to miss. All right.
Nice. That's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah. All right.
Decent armor class.
So that misses. There's no touch attack. So there's no tripping. That's that guy's turn. So he's now at the bottom of the order. Lasan, you just went. So I'm going to move you. Now it's Tao's turn.
Brain it.
Yep. Let's do another one.
Another brain.
Ooh, 7.
Is
It
DC
hits.
13? That one just made it. So he's okay still. Eric.
All right. Well, if there's only one left, then I'm going to hit it. No, I'm going to roll another 4.
Miss it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Okay.
that misses.
Yeah.
It is actually Lisan's turn. So Lisan goes first. Go back up that way. There we go. Lisan.
Make it good for. Oh.
That will hit.
That still hits.
Oh.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, I only need like a 7 or something. And just keep rolling 4.
So 9 damage. That is not quite okay. So it's its turn. Also, you're not out by 60 feet anymore. So the other one that happens to be running around isn't engaging. There's 2 more out there, and in fact, for whatever reason, they're starting to break attack or break the circle.
Okay.
Is the fire getting close?
Or the smoke, yeah.
Yeah.
Smoke is getting really close. It is overtaking pretty soon.
Ooh.
So this guy's actually going to go still. Hard-headed little creature.
Yeah.
That one will. That's a +4. It hits AC 16. That doesn't hit you, does it?
No, that's not a hit.
No, that is not a hit.
Shield gets me to 18.
Okay, so that is a miss.
Another free round of meetings for everyone.
That is going to be Tao's turn.
Yeah.
Again? Cool.
Yeah, there's this one warg. The other ones are
So it
breaking
goes
off
fast.
now. So we're just.
Ooh,
Yeah.
8.
8.
And
A
I have to make
really-
that save. I gotta make that save. It does not make that save. That's 8 damage.
Oh, I
Ouch.
have a headache now.
Nice. Okay. And then
A little blood starts coming out of her nose.
Oh, there we
Except
go.
that She can
I
literally
can
do
AC
this all day.
25 this time. I'm gonna bash it for 11 with the rock.
11 damage.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. The rock is yeah. You
Can you
hit it.
smell what the rock is cracking?
You make there's a cracking noise in this guy's head as it falls. Like it just makes a little whimper and then falls down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Poor little dog.
It is done. It falls down.
Oh, thank you, Captain History.
All right. I'm gonna drop the rock and I'm gonna pick up the warg over my head. It's like, hey,
Oh, gee, you're back.
you lost something.
Whoa!
And just, like maybe over my shoulder, turn around, like just turn my back to them and like walk back to the gate.
Awesome. Okay, so there's a bit of smack talking happening. That's amazing. All right, so that's that combat. We're gonna clear that off.
Whoa.
Because the other wargs are running away. And
Yeah, if that's the and I can use my my once per encounter just like heal myself a little bit power. It's my second wind because I probably have that back by the time we have an actual fight. So I'm back to full health.
Okay.
And then I concentrate a little bit and get back all my temp hit points.
Okay.
Lovely.
All right. And by the time this is now done, the smoke is definitely moving in. The smoke is pretty much enveloping the area now. It's so anybody who's ranged is going to take a -4.
You hateful man. And we have got to stop, guys. I have 10 minutes to get this whole setup changed and start a stream.
Let's see if I can get this to work here.
So we're gonna be fighting in the shade.
Don't suppose the druid has wind control, huh?
So the smoke rolls in, and the screen fades to black.
Yeah, pretty much. Just before we quit. I know you have to run. So that's okay. Everybody, a kiss for luck is our ranger of awesome, and is gonna have to run off because she has a stream starting very soon. Yeah, the one with the accordion.
Oh God.
All right.
So stay tuned next week for the episode of the little farm that's kind of like Helm's Deep. Yeah.
Right. -4 to all range.
Helm's shallow.
This is gonna be sick because you know what? You guys haven't even finished the beginning of this. So
the pre-fight yet.
Yeah, this is.
Don't worry now.
We could call this the pre-fight. This wasn't even part of the fight.
Come back next week for the battle of Helm's Deep.
Yes, and before next week, where can we find you, Quill?
You can find me at youtube.com/Quill18 and twitch.tv/Quill18. Next stream will be on Wednesday. I'll be playing some Civ 5.
Very good. And Demonac.
youtube.com/Demonac. Check out Tales from my D&D campaign, and I have a couple other channels. You can find them from there too. So Hearthstone, my sister and I, Orestria, we review anime stuff. So all kinds of stuff, mostly Tales from my D&D campaign.
Perfect. And a kiss for luck.
Awesome. And I'm at YouTube and Twitch, a kiss for luck, and in 10 minutes I'm playing RimWorld.
Awesome. Of course, you can find me here on Briarstone or twitch.tv/Briarstone. I've also got a channel on YouTube, Briarstoned, youtube.com/Briarstone. Put a D at the end of it, and you'll find me there. And yeah, we're done, everybody. Thank you very much for the donations as well. I'm going to run through these really fast. And I suppose.
Yeah, thanks heaps.
What we got? Where is it? Where does it start? Chemical crash coming in with that one. This is all today. Oh my God. This is insane. Okay, so we got $5 coming in from Hendrick just to share a beer from Adam. Hello. Awesome. And thank you for that generosity. $1.30 coming in from Hubert. Quill. Supreme Brunch. Good. Are we having brunch? No. We have Anonymous with no message and $3. Thank you very much. Chemical Crash with $50. Here's to Briar getting Sundays off. You damn right, man. I can't wait. $1.69 from Superior Brunch again. Oh, from Superior Brunch. That was who did it. So it was okay. That wasn't a message. It was Superior Brunch. Okay, excellent. Thank you for that. $5 from 10101 hours. Great stream. Excellent. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously you did. $25.93 coming in from Alistorn. Hopefully this doesn't break people's ears. It did. I turned it down. Was it okay today? I think it was okay. Maybe not. I really
People
don't
commented that it was a little less insane, but that it was still, obviously pretty loud.
Yeah, well, a little less insane is good. Insane is still my way. Anyway, $50 coming in from Lord of Time. Thought I would leave you all with more ear damage. Awesome. Thank you very much. Last Revenant, really fun watching everyone's thought process for planning the defense. Thanks for letting us go on this adventure with you. Thank you for being here. Lowercase row, no message, but $10. Thank you again for your continued support. And we are done, everybody. We are out. Do be sure to check out A Kiss for Luck in just a few minutes from now as she goes live.
As soon as I can get there.
And we'll catch you later. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Have a good evening wherever you are in the world. This is Briarstone and company. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
It's going to get messy next time.
Yes, it is.
Epic.